the shit, boy, get on my level. Doing 125 in my own way, pedal to metal. One thing that I won't let you do, and that's gas me up. Keep my eyes open, letting nothing pass me up. Oh, I refuse to let you block my shot, no, not today. Oh, and I ain't going without a fight, no, not today.
I'll take the light, you hold the camera, don't need more. Ready for action, I'm never lacking, I've seen war. FaceTimes, great minds couldn't conceive or couldn't relate, was robbed a chance to see more. So I aspire to reach higher, the fire inside of me burns brighter until I blow up like C4. Great shit, make hits, deep as the sea floor. Paste it, race gets long as the seashore. My star rising, they see me shining like I done been dipped in diamonds, but I be like, where the haters, they seem sure. It's all crickets, they on my dick like a seesaw. With no ticket, it's so sickening, please pause. As I
Hold on. Give me a second. All right. There we go. I got you. Boom. Got you. Boom. Oh, there's me. Okay. Excuse the technical difficulties. I'm a little rusty, y'all. I ain't done this in a while. I got somebody on the screen that ain't
You
even.
look like I'm disheveled.
It does. But what's going on, people? It's kind of a king. It's kind of just like I really just wanted to talk shit. So we're gonna try to get into it. But you know, I don't know. I feel happy.
Well, that's good.
I know. I don't know what to say, man, because like I ain't done this in like I think the last broadcast looked like the
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's not just me.
That's mean it's gonna be good when you start having problems.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I pay good money for this bullshit. You better not be doing no shit like that, nigga.
Not I pay good money for this
I
bullshit.
mean, $19.99 for that. Um, yeah. So I really just wanted to kind of before we kind of get into the Kingish thing, I want to let the other two get a chance to get together. But I feel so. I feel weird. Like I ain't gonna lie to y'all. For those who don't know, what the shit has been on the show for like what 17 months, y'all? 17 months, good 17 months. I had
Feels like it.
I had the Derrick Rose knee effect. Like I was playing
Oh
and
my
everything was going
gosh.
good. I went to dunk the ball and came down wrong. Um,
It happens.
yeah. But make a long story short, some things happen. Life happens. I ended up working a lot. I lost two drivers at my job, so I ended up being the only driver. And then I was working around the clock, 24/7, 7 days a week, 65 days a year. It felt like we just gonna end big in everybody until everybody else gets in here. Because I felt like this is special. I know if this shit do that shit it just did before and just start playing music. I know I like the theme song. We ain't heard it in a while, but I don't need it just playing, when it want to.
Just do what
But nah. So I also want to address another elephant. I don't know who those are. Just heard the little episode I put out last week. It was just me solo. There's a lot going on, as you can see. Things are different here, good and bad. So I got to address the elephant in the room. You don't see Chris or Savage up here. They're doing their own thing. I really appreciate their contributions to what the shit and what they did, but I've been gone too long to try to ask them to come back and help me pick up the pieces, as Martin would say. So I kind of ventured out and now I'm kind of doing my own thing. But I got some wonderful people here right now who's going to help me do this Kingish episode. But before we get to that, how are you guys doing? Brandy, I know you were running. Actually, you were on time for Black people. That was like, she was like 15 minutes late and she was on time.
Because I'm working with more and more clear folks, it's like it's coming upon me to be on time, which it can't be the 10, 15 minutes later, which is really on time for the color folks, because you know how that go.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I was freaking out, because I was texting him before this, like, oh my God, I got caught up with an application. But what I was doing before I even jumped on here is actually going to be what my first question will be to the gentleman when everybody is settled. So that ended up working out, but everything is great. I know you're wondering, Brandy, How's your left wrist doing? Oh, it's fine. It's just holding up this rock just fine because
Ooh.
you
Now,
can't.
I didn't want to. I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to be the one to, put nobody's news out there. I'm not. So
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
So you want to tell the people, for those who can't see that big ass Titanic Hope diamond ring you got on. That's the ring.
I had
Just
one
let
guy
him on the
say,
door.
Just let my man on the door. That big ass Rocky better be on that goddamn door. I wish I would see 8 floating by. Could you imagine we look at 8 floating by? She like this. I'll remember you. That big ass Rocky there.
peeling his hand off mine, like, get out of here. But no, for those that know Crazy 8 the Great, y'all also may know him as Miguel. I won't put his full government out there, but he did the right thing and proposed. But
He did
the right. No, I just like to be ridiculous, to keep it a buck, because I've been telling women this, and we'll get into some of these questions that I would love to hear y'all answers on a little later too. When we started kicking it, I was just so straightforward and like cut the bullshit, and a lot of that helped me. For the ladies that are listening, y'all really ain't gonna want to hear this, but between counseling and listening to some of Kevin Samuels, I ain't gonna hold you. It helped me. I'm not even gonna hold you. And
Did you say Kevin's? Okay.
no, because I try to chew the meat and spit out the bones with anything. So I can almost listen to anybody and be like, you know what, that applies. And then the rest of the shit you just let fly. But that's just me on my own journey of trying to hear the noise that maybe the internet will get, but not like have it be something that that was loud. Not have it be something that that causes you to just be so upset with someone you don't know, you'll never interact with. You don't really run my life, but I was able to chew the meat and spit out the bone, and it helped us. So this ain't take long at all. So anybody that's following us, you'll see all the pictures and bullshit I'm
All of
gonna be on next year.
Congratulations.
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, 8. Congratulations, you too. If I see my nigga floating by, ain't down like this, I know something. That's a big ass rock. That white lady took that motherfucker. He went out there to find it for you.
He exactly what he did. Because
Niggas don't swim neither. So the fact that we got the ring was fucking amazing. Going on, boss man. Let me get you in.
Yo,
here.
that mug is hard.
Oh, thank
I'm having
you.
a little technical difficulty over here. Let me see if I
Don't
can
worry.
get my camera.
I'm
straight.
having about a year's worth. I ain't did this in a while, so I'm trying to remember how this shit goes.
Gotcha.
Walmart.
Black man, what's going on, man? First of all, I gotta say congratulations to you, bro. I heard that the whole Porch Rocker was amazing, even though traffic was about 10 years long. I tried to get down there. I swear I tried to. And by the time I got to park, I was gonna have to take the Moses journey, and the way my legs set up, that would have been like a 10-year walk, bro. By the time I get there, you would have been like, all right, y'all, thank y'all for coming out. And I would have been like, God damn.
Uh-oh, not the webcam.
Well, no, I mean, I think the way things gonna be set up going forward, Porch Rocker is gonna be something I do going forward. They don't know that yet, but we gonna work it out. But no, it was a great show, man. I actually recorded it for a live album, so that should be coming within the next month or so. But other than that, man, just been staying busy with school, man. I'm in film school now, so getting the visual side to go with the audio side, and then we out of here.
How's that going?
What's that?
How's the film school going?
It's going great, man. Surprisingly, there's a lot more in common with the audio and video than I knew. So the learning curve isn't really too bad. It's really the homework part that I'm struggling to get used to again.
Can I ask you this?
I never did homework in school.
I was about to, because I seen you post a few times about the homework, and I'm like, what is film school homework exactly? Because pretty sure you the motherfuckers ain't doing like algebra, Pythagoras, that big long theorem thing. Newton's theory of relativity and all that shit. And hey man, appreciate it, man. I'm back. I don't know for how long, however long the people let me stay here, I'm gonna be here. Speaking of which, I forgot to tell y'all, this is like season 6, 2.0. So like there's that long ass 50-month break in there. So season 8 and 9, I'm not stopping. So I'm just gonna keep I'm gonna rock this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. At least until about November, because I got a cruise. Don't nobody tell nobody, but I can't swim neither. So I might be floating by 8 with everything.
Y'all gonna need a big ass door.
Yeah, we go hit. Hey, I'm not to interrupt, but I'm scared of water, and then it's a fucking cruise. And, niggas can't swim. So, anywho, but film school homework. What is that?
Well, right now we're working on editing, so exactly what it sounds like. We're editing like film footage. The very first project we had to do was like we really like literally started at the beginning of filmmaking. So we started with like well, not like the beginning in terms of like taking pictures and moving them or whatever. But we actually we started with black and white, silent, and then we started adding audio, things like that. So now we're going through doing editing. But honestly, it's really hands on. It's very straight to the point, as opposed to when I went to school for audio. It was like that's when we was doing like the Pythagorean theorem and all that shit. And it was kind of like, bro, I did this in high school. I don't want to do this again. But
yeah, see,
film was very hands on.
I could dig the hands on thing, because if I got to do math and start to fucking, it just ain't gonna work. First time on the show, I see this man works hard, because I just seen him streaming like 4 hours early. He was gaming and streaming.
Oh yeah, man. I live on this shit now.
Yeah, I figured. But introduce yourself to the people, man. Tell them what you do and where you from and everything.
Thank you for having me on, man. For sure. Hi to everybody in the room. And my name is Brian B, and I'm the host of the Beeline Entertainment LLC. We got a bunch of shows. We got a show on Tuesday called the Beeline Web Show that started it all. OG show in the building. But then we got a show on Thursday nights that is called the Beeline Entertainment. That's where people come on and show off. That's right. Yo, but we do a lot of things, man. We host Live in the Line. We do some gaming now. Brian B playing. And yeah, we all over, man. We trying to take over this shit, yo. What's good with y'all, though?
This nigga. So we got to.
Oh my gosh.
It wouldn't be what the shit without one of these questions sooner or later.
Wow,
Hey.
wow, move.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
here to fix your cable.
What's understood don't need to be explained, brother man.
So in other words, yes. So I got a quick question. Right? Before we get to the before we get to the King's questions, do y'all this has been bothering me. So I'll be up late at night sometimes. Like now that I'm free and I don't work no more, I'll be up late, gaming, watching movies. So did y'all know there's a Cop and a Half Part 2?
I saw you say that the other day, bro.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
But
No,
this
there's not.
this was made in 2017.
Yeah, only
Probably
Christopher
ass.
we acknowledge is Wallace.
It got Lou Diamond Phillips as the cop and some little white girl. But I seen some other movies. The Wrath of Becky. If y'all up late, so
Wait a minute. Yo, no, we saved that one. I ain't watch it, but did you
good.
like it?
Okay, I'll wait. Oh my god, this was good. Like I didn't think I was
Really?
3 in the
The
morning.
preview looked good. I ain't gonna hold you. I was
So
like,
I'm gonna give y'all the
oh,
synopsis.
shit.
The little white girl named Becky. She work at a bar. She ended up offing some people in some very unique ways. I'll tell y'all that. It was actually good. There's a bunch of other ones, but I'm about to do a series called The Shit I Watch When Nobody's Up.
Ooh, I love it.
Just be like some weird ass
Fire.
movies that don't nobody else either see or know about, and somehow I catch these shit. There was a light. It's too much, but let's get to it.
Bro.
Brandon,
You gotta do that on Twitch. You should totally.
I'm
do
saying, yeah, because on that topic, listen, when I was young, yo, I used to sneak and wake up in the middle of the night and watch Beavis and Butthead, and I used to watch all that shit, right? But I watched this one movie one night, and I'll never forget. It's called Castle Freak. I don't know if anybody ever heard of Castle. It was an old '90s movie, yo.
nah,
And
never
seen
heard.
it. Not to. I hope your show ain't too. I'm reckless. I'm trying to be careful.
What
But
the
I don't know.
fuck
Does
did you
this
say?
not know
The name of the show is what?
Right.
God damn it, G Willikers.
All right,
Does
there
he-
we go, there we go.
You know you.
Just want to be careful. You ain't somebody else's house and shit.
Hey,
You know what? I respect
Right,
it.
right.
I respect that, but
But,
let me think something. The name
listen,
of the
bro,
show
this-
is that shit. So we out here. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, this dude was over there. It was like this weird ass, fucking weird, like chained up freaking guy, all messed up and shit like that. And this guy was having sex with this hooker and shit. And he was right there, and he right by the chain. So the freak guy was in this shit. So then he sat there, like the guy who was having sex with her left, and then the freak he came out and like attacked her and just started biting off her nipples and shit. Yo, it's wild, yo. And I saw that shit when I was like 7 years old.
You said what was it called?
Freak Castle.
Castle Freak.
Oh my God.
Okay, I
Castle
don't know.
Freak.
Hey, I heard Freak somewhere
That
in there
shit-
that got his real discombobulated, but
It was some 80s shit. I know it was 90s, I think. That shit was wild.
that was definitely some USA Up All Night.
USA up all
Real.
night.
For real.
Salute to the OGs.
Ronda
You know what
Shore,
that is.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Yep. Gilbert Godfrey Up All Night.
Ooh,
Uh,
yeah.
Brandy, I'll give it to you. I mean, pause.
I cannot.
I think it was
I
that one.
cannot.
Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. My etiquette is all the way
I've never
off.
done this in a while. It's not what you want to say after that.
Right.
That's just
All right, let's make with the questions.
So for those of you that are just coming into something like this for the first time, we've done these a few times where we wanted to get a panel of gentlemen together, different backgrounds, different creative mindsets, and just ask some questions that I don't really see people talking about on Blue Ivy's internet. There's so much bullshit on the internet and so much 50-50 talk, and everything else just gets kind of redundant. So we like to have this be a space where you guys can express yourself freely, not be interrupted, because we're not the View, no shade, and just try to
All
help
the shade.
everybody that's listening bond and relate to you in a way that they haven't yet, as well as ask themselves the same type of question. So my first question I'm going to get to, but I'm going to replace it with what I was struggling with before I came here to keep it 100% transparent. I was leaving DC like a million voice notes before I actually hopped on, because I finally stopped bullshitting and applying for this space and grant and some other stuff that I knew I wanted for my hosting and event planning. But I was like, why am I kind of procrastinating and a little scared? It was like, oh, because this would be huge for me if I got it. And also how I know I'm in there is the person who actually runs this whole thing told me, if you want it, we want you here. And I was still frozen on the application because I'm like, damn, it's right there. Why am I not doing this? And I know it's a new level, new responsibility. Can I handle this? And it was like, I don't want to fail. That's what it just came down to. I don't want to fail. But before I hopped on here, I was like, well, what is failure to me now? Because failure to me when I was 21 is different than 25. It was different at 30. It's now different past 35. So I want to know, to you guys, how do you define failure, and what are your coping mechanisms for yourself when you say, hey, not my best work?
Oh, I got this. The 4C.
Oh, that was the most recent thing. Yes, please be as transparent as you want to be.
How much time we got, boss?
Well, yeah. Well,
I wouldn't
that's
do
come on in.
but,
I don't know.
So the 4C was an event that was supposed to go down this summer. That it was I don't think it's my biggest what if. It was just something that I really was passionate about. Despite what people think, I really like seeing people win. I really like networking. I really like bringing people together, doing stuff like this. Just laughing, joking, having a good time, but also, serious side of it. But the 4C was meant to be something that was a stepping stone. My first foray into, I guess event planning. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I learned a lot, so there is learning in failure, I guess, what to do, what not to do, how to change things, what to fix, what not to fix, things of that nature. So the 4C, it crushed me when, I got the text message, like, the plug's being pulled. I think that day, fuck it, I cried, for a little bit, because I really, really was hurt. I put a lot into it, put a lot of thought into it, had, my dad in mind when I was doing it. And I really was trying to make something, not for me, but for, people, content creators in this area to be able to enjoy and come together. So when it fell apart, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to see nobody. I just, I sat in the dark and I just reflected on, what I could have done or what might have changed. And I still don't have an answer, what I could have done or what I could have changed. I just know that, for like, that whole month, that day, but I got to shout out to people who actually came, Ross Ass, Savagely Humble, Deacon Flan, shit, I know I'm leaving people out. My wife, my cousin Sam, the people who was there, try to pick me up. But when you in a place where shit didn't go the way you wanted and it's still fresh, you don't really want to be bothered, you know. It's nothing personal. It's just that you got to sit in it for a minute. So that failure, it taught me like I can't give up, but I also got to be more mindful of how to move, how to do things. But I feel better. You know, time has passed. I got over it. You know, moved on. I'm not giving up on event planning. I just know that there's people better at it than me that I can reach out to. But the one thing about failure is it will humble you if you let it. But can also, like I said, teach you how to be better.
True shit.
No matter who goes next. Brian, do you want to go next? You want to go next, you back?
I mean, I'll jump in. I mean, he was kind of hitting home right there.
My
As,
bad.
you know, nah, you good because literally, I just came back myself. Like, I've been back for I think since late August, early September. I've been doing my show for 3.5 years now. And like this whole movement was something I started 10 years prior to even that. So it's like this shit was really important to me. And when like 2020 came down, like I just a quick backstory, like I grew up in entertainment industry. My fucking grandparents had an album out back in the day. So I've always been in music. My father was always managing up and coming artists and stuff like that. So we had a lot of history in entertainment. We always knew we were going to do this. Me, my cousins, like all of us. So I just kind of had to find my niche. Like I went from writing, I went to fucking rapping, I did all that shit, whatever, bro. But I found this having like a show was like always my big thing I wanted to do. So when I finally started doing it, I did it blindly. I didn't do it with like a strategic plan and fucking formula. Like I literally just did it like one show, I want to talk shit, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's it. Camera, microphone, and failure after failure. I just learned how to get it and let it build in whatever it was becoming. And it became, the Beeline Entertainment LLC. Like, it came into something I never even imagined. But talking failure, man. This guy I had on my show, this guy named A Natural. He's a singer. He's really, really good at the Jersey, man. Incredible talent. And he came on, kind of reversed that question. He said, "What is your meaning of success?" And that shit kind of had me thinking, like, what means something to me? Like, am I trying to be a millionaire? Am I trying to be fucking Pinky Doll off of TikTok and $10,000 a day being a computer? What's important to me? What am I doing this for? I was in a position right before I quit where I was able to quit my job and not work a 9 to 5 and just go into business for myself for almost 6 months, yo. And I was making money that I ain't never fucking made before. And I didn't even understand how I was doing it because I was literally just doing my show and integrating it with video editing, promotion and publicity, had a publicist, doing celebrity interviews. I was doing all of this shit that I never thought I'd ever be able to do. And I literally got into a stage where I was starting to see my character and the people that I've grown to and built relationships with in this business really start falling apart because of the people that was kind of bringing me higher in the elevation, of the success. And I thought it was good. I thought I could handle it. I just did a fucking full show about this. I thought I could handle it, but I was doing things wrong. Completely wrong. Out of my character, shit that I didn't know that I knew was wrong, but I was like, let me stick to it. I can handle it. I can focus. I can fix it. I'll be good. But I was wrong. And when I finally realized it and I came out of it and I dropped everything, I said, fuck everything. I'm done. I don't want to do this shit no more. And I let that whole team go. I said, yo, I did this for 3 years, man. I did it. Let me focus on other shit. Let me focus on my health. Let me focus on other shit coming up. It's a brand new year about to start. And I quit. I quit this shit. I've been saying that ever since I came back because I quit, yo. I was done with that. I sold my equipment. I was done doing this. And when I quit, man, I became a different fucking person, yo. I was a different person. I was trying to put myself into these different situations. I was trying to do different things. Like, okay, now I can give my time here. And at first it was really good because I was like, oh man, I didn't have time to do this before. I have time to do that before. But then I started realizing there's something not right. And I was kind of miserable, man. And my girl was hitting me up. She was like, "Yo, B, you got to find what you love again. You love the Beeline. That's I eat shit. I mean, I constantly like, everything was a part of it for me, and everybody started kind of giving me different signals and messages of like, yo, I was waking up to messages. Yo, where's Brian B? I ain't heard him in a while. And just literally shit like that. Or I'd think something and then somebody would hit me up out of the blue and I'm like, what? And it was just starting to put me back in the spirit. And I'm like, wait a minute, yo, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to be this person? Fuck the money, fuck the celebrity shit, fuck all of that. I just want to be Brian B and host my show and do as much as I can with it. That's my success. And I found that shit, yo. And that's why I think I feel so great in this last month that I've came back. I mean, I DC just said, man, I've literally been living on this microphone since I came back, being on different shows, all this other stuff. And it's just because I want to be here. That's my goal now. My goal before, I didn't have one. It was just formulating. But now I know what it is. And it took that failure of me not becoming, the person that I ain't fucking know I was to see it. So, I mean, like he said, I was talking on one show. I wanted this shit so bad. This guy was a movie producer I was talking to, and he was just telling me how he got started. His job had let him go. He was like, "You don't belong here. You ain't supposed to be doing this. Just get out of here." And he went without a year, without a job, moved away from his family, but he made it. He's a successful fucking movie star with Goldberg and all this shit or whatever. But when I heard that story on my show, I started crying. I was like, yo, I want this shit that bad. Like, my passion is that bad. Like, I want this shit. I want to live, eat, and shit this. I don't want no other distractions. But like they say, man, everything that you want, you can experience it. You don't realize what it's going to do to you when you get it. And I found that shit out, man. At least one way. But yeah, so that was what my failure did for me, yo. It forced me to realize what I really want. In a nutshell.
That's what's up. I'll say for myself, and I swear I'm not trying to dodge the question, but I don't really perceive failure. I learned the mentality to fail forward, and in doing so, I got lost in that mentality in terms of I kind of just take the losses or failures as lessons, and it's just become a part of the process. The things that may seem like failures, I look at it like everything that I'm doing is like research and development. So it's not really so much a failure if I catch it. So I would say, if anything, the things that I feel like are failures are things that are mistakes that I've made that I didn't necessarily catch, because those are the things that I can't improve upon. But beyond that, I don't really perceive failure as being something that's anything other than a part of the process.
I really love that answer, because a podcast that I was listening to, because I've become like a podcast whore now, was talking about, it's crazy. But they were talking about the developer of Spanx, like the woman's undergarments, what her father used to ask them at the table, just as conversation would be like, how did you fail today? And they have a conversation about that. And I'm like, I would have never thought to ask like my soon to be 16-year-old, how did you fail today? And just seeing what comes from that type of conversation, especially when it ends up, you have a daughter that now has, I'm sure, $1 billion company, because she decided to look at that, as you said, G Black, failure just completely different. And there's so many lessons that you can learn from it, like DC and Brian B was sharing. So I think that's really dope. And I learned something just hearing all those answers. So I appreciate the transparency. Now, what happened, DC?
Oh, nothing.
Because you was looking crazy, right?
Oh yeah, every now and then you gotta look up to the sky and see nothing but this room.
Okay, now again, typically when I do this, because I used to have a show called Candy Combos with Candy Beat plug, and I would talk to people in our Black nerd spaces in the same way that I'm doing you guys, and I have like my favorite questions here. But based off answers that I do listen to from you guys, I like to kind of on the fly change that. So based off of how in-depth Brian's answer was, and I don't care who starts this off first, I want to know how you get back to you in a grounding way when you feel yourself getting pulled into everything that either another group or even the internet could sell you. For example, I'm in a group talking to some girls that are all cosplayers, and some of us are like, hey, do we need to start showing more tits and ass to get these followers up? Because no shade to the sex worker girls at all. But when you're in the Black nerd space, and you kind of feel like, okay, we're all equal playing field, but then you see not really, because the same concepts that work in any other spaces, they still apply here too. So the girls and the guys that are doing certain things, they're still going to be where they're at, no matter what the subject matter, the genre. So what do you do when you feel like, I'm kind of feeling like I want to be somebody that I'm not to get somewhere? Because I think we all can relate to that on some level, even if it's not where you're at now.
Oh yeah.
I want to know what that moment was for you, if you can recollect it, or what advice would you give to somebody that is feeling like, you know what, I need to go this way instead of that way.
Don't do it, nigga. Stop, run.
Yo, listen. like you just said, and I wasn't trying to like my thoughts just kind of came to my head when you were speaking it. I kind of disagree when people say that it's kind of an equal playing field a lot of times when it comes to men and women do this, I mean, there's something about, women, like just how you started that conversation right there. Women have the ability, and this sucks to say it, but it's true, yo. You can disagree, whatever. I'm not saying anybody in here, just anybody in general. Yo, women can put on a bikini and play a fucking Mario video game from 1970 and get 1 million views, yo. And it's not because they're playing the game amazing or what they're playing, or even if you even see the damn TV on. It could just be a camera on them, and that's just the audience that they attract.
We're not even playing a game.
I'm saying, right? You fucking faking it. But it's like, with that knowledge, it's like, there's definitely a difference. I'll give even a little bit more of an example, not to talk too much, but even at my job, I do customer service. Like, I'm back working and shit, but I do customer service over the phone. I work from home. And, a lot of times I got to talk to people, and my approach is all like, hey, how you doing? My name is Brian, blah, blah, blah. I got to do this, whatever. A lot of times people kind of, they're turned off from me immediately. You know why? Because I got a deep voice. I'm kind of brolic. I'm very confident, so I speak really hard. And it's like, immediately that immediate drive is like, but then you got a docile, some guys can do it too, but usually it's like a female, like, hey, how you doing? I'm very approachable. I'm very polite and blah, blah. If we're in a contest and I'm supposed to get 60 and she's supposed to get 60, it's a lot more likely, in my opinion, that she's going to hit it before me because she's so much more inviting. So it's like I'm already kind of brought down a stature, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I see it in that way. Like, there's definitely, I feel like you have to acknowledge the differences realistically and reasonably at that. Your question was like, what would I tell somebody? I actually just told my cousin, he just released an album and he's doing really, really, really well. And I'm very proud of him and I'm very happy for him. And he called me today and he was asking me, he was like, I'm about to get this money, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing all this stuff and all that stuff, whatever. And I told him kind of the same thing I kind of just told y'all, like, yo, man, listen, if you love it and you're doing it, you've been doing this forever. I know you've been doing amazing. Stop focusing on the money, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep being you. Make sure you keep being, because as soon as you start focusing, like I was focusing on, we want to get, The Rock and shit. So now I'm being different. I'm acting different. I'm treating people differently. I'm trying not to. I'm thinking I have it under control. But realistically, my environment is changing, and that's causing my mentality to change. But I think I have it under control. A lot of times I think people lose themselves and you don't fucking see it. You feel like you good. You know what I mean? Like a girl that puts on a bikini and she's like, they liking me because I'm killing this fucking game right now. Maybe, but it's very possible that it could be something else too. If you're not going to even address it, then I got to kind of like, really further have my opinion. But if you're going relatable to it, oh yeah, well, yeah, maybe it is my tits out. Like, okay, now I can fuck with you. Like, what else you got to say?
I will agree with you on that. Not that everybody has to do it, because people can do what they want, but I can digest people easier when they're like, this is what it is and I know what I'm doing, rather than who I'm a fan of. I love me some Chloe and Holly, but I'll never forget when Chloe Bailey started crying because she was just like, they're reacting this way and I just wanted to do this. And I'm like, girl, if you want your ass out, you want to be sexy, you want to lead with that body, lead it and don't apologize for it. but don't
Come
thirst
on.
trap and then cry. Like that's not, unfortunately, that's not how
Come
the world
on.
is, and it doesn't favor women in that way. We don't get to, we don't get to be multifaceted in that way. It's not always the fairest thing, but it's the realest. But thank you for that answer. Who wants to go next? DC or GG?
Black, you want to take it?
I think for me as a recording artist, hip hop in particular, there's a lot of times where, especially doing the type of music that or rap that I do, I guess it's like lyrical or whatever. But there's a lot of times where I'll feel influenced to go one way or the other, because again, my whole process over the course of my first 9 projects has been like research and development. So I put things out just to kind of get feedback and see what works, what doesn't, compare it to the field, not in terms of comparing it, but more so in terms of reception. So there is a lot of times where I feel like, I put together a good piece or a good body of work, and it may not receive the reception that I would like it to, and juxtaposing it against someone else's, theirs may receive more, acclaim or success or whatever. And, objectively, I try to study and analyze that. And of course, there are takeaways in terms of what I think may have worked for them versus what may not have worked for me. But what I try to do is just simplify and repeat. So, again, if I feel like I have something, but it didn't necessarily work, I don't view it as a failure, because I just feel like I just have to refine it in a way that it can be received a little bit better. So, say for instance, like my lyrics tend to get a little dense and maybe wordy. So, I listen to somebody else that may have had more success when they release a project, and maybe theirs is a little bit more loose, and they find a way to take away some of the words but maintain the meaning, so a less is more approach. So again, I just try to refine what I do and present it in a way that's more clear and concise. But I never really look at anything I do as comparing it to someone else's, and again, kind of tying back into the first thing, viewing what I'm doing as a failure. Again, more so just trying to incorporate the lessons that I'm able to learn from my peers and others.
Love that, especially coming from you doing music. Because anybody that knows my fiance rapidy raps as well. I be ghostwriting, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
You
And
silly.
I claim that on all the songs. But something that I think I just project and worry about, even though he's not worried, is I'll look at some of these other artists, and of course, when somebody's nice, whether they're a singer like you mentioned, Brian, or they rap, you just be like, these niggas is not nice like you. Like they're not doing it like you doing. And this is just me being objective. I'm like, and I'm not even like rapping. I'm a pop R&B girl. But so if I'm going to listen to rap, it's going to be Kendrick's my favorite, and then Wayne, and then I listen to people. So I'm like, if you don't have the bars for real, I'm like, how are they where they are? And I know there's so many different things that go in that. The politics of music is crazy. I get it, but I commend anybody who's in the music game, and you don't say, all right, I'm just going to start mumble rapping now because this is the new swing, or I'm just going to start dressing like this or doing these type of videos. I think that it says a lot to stick with who you are in something as vicious like the music game can be. So I really, really appreciate that answer. All right, you're up, DC. Exactly. Back like old times.
So good. Back in the saddle. I forgot the question. I was thinking about some other stuff.
I was like, the question was, where'd you get your hoodie? And that's
Walmart, baby.
I guess for you, just convincing it with specifically what you do. Have you ever kind of looked at someone that may be similar to what you're doing, or maybe someone that you secretly looked at less than, but they have more success, and you're like, damn, do I got to do it like that to be somewhere? Or do you feel pretty confident?
Podcast game, it is a lot of like, so here's the thing. And here's the reason why I'm glad I'm back, because while I was gone, I sat back and watched the landscape of podcasting and a lot of different podcasters and a lot of different shows, people I've messed with, people I've never seen before. And I appreciate what everybody's doing, but I also know that I can hold my own. And I'm not one of them braggadocious people, and I don't want it to feel like it's a competition, but I feel like there are some people who I know I can hang with, even with being, rusty and out for a while, but it's not a competition to me. I just feel blessed to be able to do this, but I never want to try to be like anybody else. Um, and I hope it's the same for anybody else because like everybody has their own voice, and I try to make sure I amplify mine as well as others on my show. But first and foremost, I'm trying to amplify mine because that's the one that people hear first. So I've seen some people doing some dope shit and be like, damn, I could do that, but then I don't want to feel like I'm biting somebody's style. It's not like I see them doing it and I do it. It's like, nigga, we seen them do it first. Whether you do it better or not, it don't matter because they did it first. But then we're in a time where there's nothing new under the sun. So sooner or later, it's going to get recycled.
Yeah, which I'll challenge you on that because I do feel like sometimes it's a matter of who's doing it better.
Yeah.
I think that's a big factor. Yeah,
it's who's doing it better because I will always bring up in the music industry how people will the people that are of a certain age. We remember when A. Marie came out and there was a certain sound and a vibe and producers and everybody's like, hey, Beyonce took her style and ran with it. And I'm like, it's a matter of who's doing it better.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, no, there's groups.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't heard that before.
Oh, what? Oh, you ain't no true
I never heard that before. A. Marie, Beyonce stole from A. Marie?
There's a whole, I'll send you links
after. There's conspiracy theory, brother. There is.
Look at that one. Yeah.
There's a whole thing about it because it was just first to start off simple stuff like the go-go beat sound of Crazy in Love against one thing. But if people look at timelines, if people look at producers, some of this stuff is kind of a no-brainer. Like if I'm Timbo and I'm producing some stuff, and it's like that sounds like Justin Timberlake, which also sounds like Aaliyah, which also sounds like it should.
Or Nelly Furtado.
Right. It's like this is what I do. But I also think again the music industry is vicious and they allow the woman to flourish in a way that may be harder for men, but they pit the women to like against each other so quick, and it can only be one or two at a time. There doesn't get to be a whole bunch of them in that way. So yeah, it's a whole information, but it came out. It's a mess. Like
sound like debates to me.
Oh, she said took like from a lot of people. Well, there it is. And I mean,
took a lot of people's stuff. I mean, but I mean, this is interesting. This is very interesting, and the music is my shit. So I guess I'm kind of lost because I've grown up listening to Beyonce. Like I'm definitely in that era and stuff like that or whatever. I'm back in the day, Wyclef and fucking no. I'm all that Beyonce. I'm back to Beyonce. Smart guy, remember that shit? Remember on Destiny Child? Remember that? I was back in that. But I don't know, man. It's like Beyonce was the front runner. She was the chosen child. You know what I'm saying in the group. I think that she still is. If you think about it, Beyonce is in my opinion, Beyonce is and no disrespect, but she a show monkey, yo. She a show monkey. I feel like she has a whole.
You guess like Erica Mena.
Real, bro.
Yeah, here's what we'll do. We'll save the Beyonce and music talk for a completely different show topic for
okay. All right, shit, I'll go.
That
was biting my tongue, bro. You going in on my fellow Virgo one time.
What you say, G?
I cannot afford to get canceled before I even get back fully in great.
Talk some shit.
Hey, like,
please bring me back to that episode.
Yo, TMZ, like, yeah, what the shit called her a show monkey. I'm like, God damn it. I just got it.
Now you can have an industry show because I'm sure there's people in and out of it that have a lot of strong opinions. There are some things that I've heard in and out of some things. So I think that would be a good show for you. So jot that down. I don't care who answers this first, but what failure you know what? Well, I'll save that last, because it'll circle back to how we all answered the failure question first. What area in your life do you feel like you're playing it too safe? And it can be a multitude of things, depending on how vulnerable you want to get, because some people have talked about their relationships with their kids and being afraid to ask certain questions, so they're playing it safe there, or with their health journey, finances, where they could be investing, but they're playing it safe. It's a broad thing you could think about there.
I think with podcast.
Oh, wait. We had two at the same time.
You got it, bro.
Okay, go ahead. No, you got it, bro. I'm a guest. It's your show. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think for me it was just personally, at the beginning of the year, I just started realizing that I wasn't pushing myself in terms of like growth and development. I kind of got stuck in the rut of just doing the normal things that I do. You know, going to work, raising my kids, doing music, and I began to realize that I'm somebody who's very like studious just in nature. So I'll do like independent research on things just like for fun. So I didn't really feel like I wasn't learning new things. But as I started to analyze it, I realized like even the new information I was coming upon was just new information pertaining to the same topics. So that's when I decided to go back to school for something that I had never even considered, you know, being again film school. But just realizing that lack of growth in new areas for me was something that I wanted to take on as a challenge. So that's that's it for me.
Oh, I'll go. No, for me, it's podcasting. I think like the last few months, I let my whole situation outside of that affect me from not doing stuff. Like there's opportunities I could have recorded or I could have, you know, put some work in, but I was just like letting that fact that I was working so much tie me down. I let it handcuff me, and I lost so much time. But I also, like I said, gained a lot of information, gained some perspective and all that. But I feel like in this game, you if you not recording, you're not putting out content, and you ain't doing shit. Like you know, there's motherfuckers that do a show every day. Now, I would never do that because that's just too much for my sanity. Like that's just recording every day, editing every day, and finding something to talk about every day. Nah, nigga, that mean I gotta start writing scripts. I don't even script this show. This shit is just off the top of my
Wow.
dome whenever it happened. Like
Yeah.
I just can't see myself trying to like I love content creating, but I would never let it control, you know, or dictate, you know, my life. Like when I feel like putting stuff out, I will, but I'm never gonna be one of those. I gotta schedule content. I gotta go make this video and do that. Nah, that's just too much. Like I like it, I love it, but for me, it's not a job. It's something I really enjoy doing, it, and it's an outlet for me. Which is why I missed it so much because I couldn't talk shit like I wanted to because I felt, like I said, handcuffed. So there was opportunities I could have, but I was scared because I was like, I ain't done it in a while. I don't know, you know, something might happen or whatever. But that's really it. And then you know, reaching out and working with some different people. That's something that I need to start doing because I don't want to get too set in you know one circle and then that circle move somewhere else and I got to move like they
Yeah.
move. I want to be able to be flexible. I like there's a bunch of dope, talented content creators, podcasters, whatever that you know I want to be able to work with because they're dope as hell. Like I think a lot of people that do this is dope, but I want to be able to venture out, you know, and mess with people on the West Coast. You know, just be able to do something besides sit in one circle and let that be, you know, the tribe that I run with. I want to run with 70 different tribes. You know, I just want to be able to um, experience a bunch of different types of content creators. Wait, that didn't come out right. I want to be able to work with a bunch of content creators.
G Black was like, I got you on the film side. Like, what you mean?
For sure.
So never mind. I'll ask that later because that's just a weird question. But go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a good point, bro. I definitely feel you on that. I mean, playing it safe is not really my style. Like, I'm fucking reckless. I've always been like that. I'm very spontaneous. I would say with just the word, like, safe, I'm doing that with my kids right now. Like, I got a set of twins and then a 4-year-old. My twins is 12, going on 13. And my 4-year-old's here. My 4-year-old's my actual daughter. My other, my girl kind of married in. Our kids were the same age. We've raised them since they were 7, 6, shit. But I started homeschooling my daughter, yo, because I didn't want my fucking daughter going to school. It's plain and simple. Like when that whole lockdown shit happened, and we got the chance to do the homeschooling thing or whatever, I basically changed. I was working. Me and my girl was working outside, and she was kind of able to stay home and work like 3 days out the week or whatever. So that's when she was homeschooling the kids, and then I was kind of home, but I was out always. I transitioned everything, and I work from home. I've worked from home for 3 years now. I do the show, so I'm kind of like an introvert and shit now. But you know, I'm not like scared to go out, but it's just I like to be home. I like to have control over my own, like, you know, as much time as I possibly can.
Mhm.
So it's like with my kids, like we taking them out of school next year because we want to homeschool them. We want to teach
Oh,
them. We
wow.
kind of tired of the whole, you know, regimen. We tired of everything, bro. I'm tired of being told what to fucking do. Like that's my biggest thing. So I guess that kind of goes into my personality too. I want to go against the grain, yo, and I don't want to fuck my kids up because I just want to be me. But I'm saying like we definitely have researched it, and that lockdown shit really helped us see that we could do it. And that was why we transitioned. So it's like I think that's the way that I play it safe, and maybe I play it too safe in a way because I go out and do the shopping for my family. I don't. If my girl don't got to go out with my kids, she don't. Now they still go out. They going on a fucking camping trip in a couple weeks for a whole week by themselves. I'm be here by myself. So they still do shit. We ain't locked down and nothing. But I try to take the part of being a man, in my opinion, as much as I can. I want to be strong for my family. I want to protect my family. And there's a lot of shit going on, yo. It's constant, yo. You know what I'm saying? Not to put fear in everybody, but reality. You feel me? You go to Walmart getting fucking stickers on your car and $100 bills you got to pick up with white gloves and shit. Like, there's shit going on, yo, especially down here in Atlanta where we at. So it's like, I try my best to just play the part, yo. Like, I try my best to be a leader, dominant leader. And me and my girl work great as a team. But I would say that's the only thing I would say as far as safe. I play my family very safe. I don't fuck around. And that's the biggest relate I guess I got to that question.
Well, I know like it's difficult with family, right? As far as to evaluate whether you played it too safe or not, because a lot of times we don't know until we're of a certain age, and they can look back like, oh, I understand why my parents did this better. Oh, wow, they really
Mm,
trying to fuck me up. It's really not until you get older and start experiencing things and evaluate why did I make this decision? Why am I
mhm.
maybe not a risk taker, or why do I think this type of behavior is okay in a relationship? That a lot of that they're not going to know until they get older. But one thing I think that they probably won't have to worry about, and I am not an expert by any means, but I know a lot of times with homeschool, the if you were 80s baby 90s kid, we would look at homeschool people kind of like, oh, you're going to be weird, you're going to be
Yeah,
socially awkward. But if
Yeah.
you have,
for
yeah, but
real.
if you have
That's
like,
what I was scared about, for real.
yeah, but if you have a parent, I think like you, and I don't know who your how your wife is, but I imagine she has to have a personality to be with you. So I'm like, just from what I picked up on
Wild
right
motherfuckers over
now,
here.
I'm like,
But you know how fucked up of a compliment that is when people say that to me. They go,
Real shit though.
"You?
It's
Oh, she's
acknowledgement, right?
a
DC,
black woman." I was like, "No, she's a white woman named Ruth."
no, DC, you
She's
know
actually black and
that.
Japanese.
Yeah,
So
she.
she fucking wild too.
Oh, listen, I grew up in Japan, so I already know how the Blazers get down.
Oh shit,
So
okay.
that's that. But shut up, DC, to what you said about that compliment because it wasn't fucked up, but it sounded fucked up. But I'm saying that to say as a compliment to your personality. I highly doubt your kids are going to be like socially awkward or not be able to handle themselves because I think you guys have cultivated a space already by being who you are all the time. That hey,
Yeah.
being your full true self is what we're going to lead with, and we'll fix everything else on the back end when it comes to science, math, whatever else.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
make
I
sure
mean,
you're comfortable being you. So I love that. And
yeah.
then with you bringing up family, and we can go back to Mr. Black first. How important do you feel like it is to choose the right partner for yourself romantically as it relates to your purpose?
It's funny that you actually asked this question because listening to Brian's answer kind of made me rethink what I wanted to respond with. So I'm recently divorced. I've been divorced for 2 years, and I I'm gonna try to like tie both the questions together.
Yeah.
I wish that I would have played it more safe in my marriage because I think a lot of and just going through the therapy and stuff for the past 2 years, I think a lot of the reasons that I got divorced was more due to trauma that I had, and I mean there were issues pertaining to our marriage as well, but nothing that couldn't have been resolved. But in my mind, it was kind of like a fight or flight situation. I
Mm.
started to see the patterns in my relationship that I saw in my parents' relationship. And rather than, dealing with the issues, I, in my mind, thought that that would be playing it safe. And that was, the mistake that my parents made. So I decided, not to. Um, so, and I'm sorry, what's the question for this one? I was just trying to get that off because I thought
No,
about it as Brian was talking.
this is good. I like when somebody's answer has you say, well, hey, I had an epiphany about something I've been going through too. So you're good. It's basically just asking how important it is to you that, you choose the right one so you ain't picking the kitties out kind of thing when it
Right,
comes
right, right.
to your actual purpose. Because some people steer clear from it because they're like, I don't want the distraction. And other people are like, I need a partner in purpose because it helps what I'm doing.
Right. Thank you. So yeah, I was tying it because the partner that my ex-wife, she was somebody who was there, fully supported my purpose. It still is, honestly. At the show I just had recently that DC was talking about, she was front row singing all the words still. So we still have a great relationship. She still supports my purpose, but um, just to say it's a really hard act to follow because she's the first woman that I had ever been with in the 20 years of me doing music that really supported my music and my purpose. So it's something that I'm used to at this point. So I don't know that going forward I would be able to even enter another relationship that wasn't present in terms of that level of support, because especially being an artist, I mean, maybe it's just my subjective perspective, but there's a lot that goes into it in terms of like sacrifices that have to be made, whether it's time, whether it's finances, and having somebody that doesn't understand that, it can make things just that much more difficult in terms of just being able to make a decision on whether to do this or that and make the sacrifice. So I definitely feel like coming from an artistic perspective, it's almost necessary to have somebody who can understand your purpose. And again, that's just something that for me, I've been so spoiled for the 10 years of my marriage that I don't think I could have it any other way, honestly.
And I appreciate you sharing that because I don't take divorce news lightly. Just I felt like I went through a rough one eons ago. And they compare it to like having a death in the family, I believe, for a reason, because it's a blow to you in different ways that you don't know, even if the relationship isn't the best. It's still a lot to deal with in it and then after. So I appreciate you being real about that in real time. Who's next?
We all go.
Go ahead.
Not for this one.
What was the question? I must have missed out.
No, you're fine. That's because he piggybacked off what you were saying because he was really feeling it. So for you, how important was it for you? Because you're married, right?
Yeah, well, engaged.
Married.
On the way. Bro.
Flames. But how important?
You're not down already. Don't worry about it.
Pretty much. How important was it for you to find somebody in your love life that's compatible for your purpose? Or were you kind of going about it like, hey, if I find something great, if I don't, I'm good?
That's definitely how I was going about it. But I'm from Jersey, yo. I'm not from the South. I'm not sure where everybody else is from, but I was born and raised in Jersey, um, Elizabeth, New Jersey, right by New York, right by Newark, all that shit. And city life is all I knew. It was rough out there. It is what it is, like But in Jersey, it's nothing like the South. Like as far as like marriage and relationships and stuff like that, like I never seen, and I'm not trying to dog nobody, but I'm just being honest, yo. Like I never seen people like commit to each other so fucking quick, yo. Like people will go to breakfast and be like, yo, I want to marry you tomorrow and shit. And that's how it was. Like the first experience I had was with my son's mom. Like, I said something. We were dating for like 2 months, and immediately she was like, "Well, if you like her, put a ring on her finger." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" and because she was in the South, but they was from Jersey, they moved, whatever. But so when I kind of like, I've always had in my mind, like, yo, listen, I'm never committing to shit. Like I said, I'm spontaneous, I'm wild. Like I like to be free. Like I like to do whatever. So it was like I was never really even thinking about marriage. But I was single for maybe 2 years before I even with this relationship that I got before this. I had a really bad relationship before that I was kind of just playing with, but I took way more seriously than I should have, and kind of just let me know like, listen, if I can't be serious with somebody, I just ain't fucking with nobody. And then I met my girl, but at the same time, being honest, yo, me and her, I mean, we're probably the most incompatible fucking people on the planet. I mean, she's a Hebrew Israelite. I celebrate Christmas. Every fucking thing. And we're very different. We're extremely different. Our families are different. We have our own challenges. We have a million challenges. But the crazy shit is we are both super committed to each other. We like what we like. the things that we do agree on, like homeschooling and, self-sufficiency and, farming and all that shit, that's all the stuff that bring us together in a way that we like, yo, this is our life, the way we are with our family, our way with our. So it's like, I don't really know what compatible is. Like, I feel what G Black was saying, like he was able to find somebody who supported his lifestyle, and that lifestyle is fucking crazy. Like you said, bro, I've been living this shit for my whole life, like seeing artists and going to studios and being in studios packing fucking CDs until 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, if you got somebody at home waiting on you, you doing, you always going. Even with the podcast shit. I'm sitting here right now. She waiting upstairs. As soon as I get done, I'm gonna go upstairs and play fucking Fortnite. That's what we do every night. That's a little thing we do together. It's a different life, yo. You got somebody who's understanding. That's always been the most important thing in the fucking world to me. You have to be understanding. You have to be reasonable. I don't care about all the other shit is important, but I'm saying for me, the most important is if I can say this to you and you can't understand me in any type of form or way, you don't understand why I'm saying you're being too loud. You can't understand it even. You might not want to listen to me, but you can gotta understand it. Like we were talking about with the girls with the titties out and shit. Like, it's like we're super uncompatible, but the things that we are compatible in is the reason why I want to marry her, and forever. Like we have the conversation. Like, yo, this is. I'm pretty sure everybody probably does, like for the most part. But
I know I did. It went right to divorce court.
Yeah. It's like it's one of the things. That's why I really also took my time. Like, I didn't rush it. Like, it's been going on 6 years now. And we really understand that we are who we are. We've fought. I mean, we've fought, and we've went through it, and we always came back. And we said, you know what? This is where we're supposed to. We ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, right? I ain't going nowhere. I ain't fucking going nowhere. Where am I going? And we just know.
Not where I'm gonna go.
Might get fucked up, but hey, listen.
It is in my car.
I'll tell you right now. If it happens, it happens. But I'll tell you right now, we took every precaution we possibly fucking can. And that's what we comfortable, yo. We know we ain't the best. We ain't even friend. We got mad shit that we different at. But we in it.
And to piggyback off what you guys just said, I think it's important for you to be the best versions of yourself individually, so you can be the best you can collectively. That's the most I think anybody can hope for, because anytime somebody thinks a couple is the blueprint, whether they're famous or not, you find out something on them, and then you're like, damn, I didn't know that.
Remy Ma?
Listen.
That'll be on my show.
Sorry, my bad.
Another show. That's another show for another time.
Too soon.
Okay.
Y'all be shutting down on conversation, yo.
I told y'all I'm
What
resting
happened?
my goodness in a while. Sometimes I got Tourette's and I just be throwing out names. Jenny Ma.
That
Niggas,
shit happened, bro.
No. We gonna
cucumber sandwiches. But go ahead.
Jeezy got what he got. Had he stayed with, Keisha Cole, maybe the results would be different.
She's probably fucking crazy too.
Oh,
Yeah.
there, I think
Between black crazy. Never mind. Anywho.
don't start
crazy,
that.
yo.
I think everybody has a certain degree of crazy. It's just a matter of who's compatible for your bullshit.
So here's the thing.
Facts.
Everybody is crazy, like you said. But
That's
it's how
true.
much crazy will you tolerate shows how much you love a person. Because I'm crazy as fuck. My wife tolerates the fuck out of me. There's some shit I do. I just got hit in the bed. Yes. Well, that didn't come out right. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Be real. If it happened, it happened. We out together.
Wait.
bro.
Oh, because I made a joke. I can't remember the joke, but I made a joke. That's what I do. And she found it funny, but at the same time, you know how when you say some off the wall crazy shit, somebody wasn't prepared for it, they shock you real quick, like, so she punched me. I was like, damn, I'm gonna do it again later, just because you just punched me. So, but no, it's just how much crazy will you tolerate shows how much they love you.
Yo, can I say something real quick on that same topic? It really does seem like also we were just talking about this shit too. It's crazy, yo. I think people also forget, like, you have to also make a decision, yo. Like, there is gonna be problems, yo. And I think a lot of times, especially today, and it might just be my opinion, I feel like people have so many different options. I feel like there's gonna be there's certain times you got to get the fuck out. Like, somebody beating on you, somebody doing this or whatever. If you're consistently just like, yo, this shit ain't going nowhere. We don't got no future. We don't got some things people change as you get older, progression, whatever. But I think a lot of people do forget to flip the switch, yo. And I think with celebrities, and like I said, it's just my opinion, like, agree to disagree, whatever. Like, I feel like celebrities have so many more options. A lot of their problems are different than, people are everyday working people like that or whatever. They're in the limelight, like G Black even said, like it's a different lifestyle that you have to agree with, you have to contest with. So if you have somebody who, first of all, you're a fucking highlighted figure, you got people all over the place, you're constantly involved, and then you got your phone and the shit the regular people have, where you can date somebody and fucking physically create them, like we're playing SmackDown versus Raw or something like that, and you can literally have whatever you want established to you. You think you want it, and then you get it, and you still fucking fail because you haven't accepted the challenge of like, yo, listen, I'm going to commit and stay committed, reasonably. That's how I feel, bro. I feel like people don't flip that fucking switch.
That makes sense. And I still think it also comes back to the individual. It's very hard to commit to somebody else when you're not committed to your own inner work and your own healing and your own enlightenment. And you'll just project that on somebody else anytime you're triggered or annoyed. But that's just how I view it. You are the last person that needs to answer, DC. If you're prepared, if you're ready.
What was the question?
How important was it for you to marry your wife who deserves a Purple Heart for marrying you?
You never seen them guys that come back from war and they be like, I've seen some
shit.
I commend my wife. She's because I'm off the wall. I was, people popping with.
Percent of their, it's true. They really do, man. We don't see the shit, but but the shit that we do know and we do see, obviously, like they're highlighted, man. A basketball star is dealing with a lot of things different than 9 times out of 10 than the guy who's going to the office every day or working from home and shit like that. It's different challenges for sure, but let's not. We gotta be what I'm saying, understanding. So that's why being understanding is so important because it's like. You have to face facts. Like, they gotta hide it from us, but the shit that they deal with in the closet and stuff like that for them, I mean, it's definitely going to be similar, but they're probably experiencing way more like heightened. Whether even to just be seeing each other every fucking day or every week or whatever. It's challenging.
That's why when some of those couples broke up around the pandemic or was having problems, I was not shocked because I'm like, if you have 2 actors or you play sports and I do this, we're not around each other all the time. Now we're on lockdown with these kids. No wonder Tom Brady was like, I'm sorry, I'm not retiring. I got to get back out.
That's like, I knew a guy who retired. He retired from work. He's like, I've done it. He pulled the Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for this shit. He's like, I'm about to retire. I'm going to spend some time with my wife. 2 weeks later, this motherfucker was like, hey, bring me back, boss.
Different life.
Apparently, I didn't know my wife when I went home. She wanted me to do shit. She wanted me to go places. She was spending money. He was like, I need to work. He's like, I don't care what you put me on. Just bring me back. And you can see, he's like, smell my eyes, dude. Let me tell you a story. I was like, I'm good. I'm a pass, bro. I see it all on your face. But no, I mean, I don't know if it is important. Especially when you're trying to do, the things we do when you're in a lane where you're constantly talking and you're constantly, telling intimate stories or, things that happen in your household in this kind of setting.
Oh, yeah.
Inviting people in, you have to be very understanding, and you also have to have that conversation with your significant other, because there are some things that, you want to share, but then you could overshare. Jesus Christ.
That's a really funny comment.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Because you come home after that 5 and she ain't been working all day. But anyway.
Resentment.
Yeah. But yeah, so you gotta be honest. You got to have somebody who can now, I'm not gonna say tolerate, because that makes it sound like they're just putting up with your shit. But you gotta have somebody who can understand that, sometimes you're gonna cross the line and say some shit you probably shouldn't say. Yes. Or you gonna cross the line and be on a show that, as we were talking about with the cosplays earlier, a titty might pop out somewhere. And now you got she walk in the room and the titty out on the screen, and now you like, and now you sleeping on the couch or outside. So
that's what you call her cosplayer, huh?
Yeah, it's just like, hey, she's cosplayers. Yeah, was she cosplaying as a porn star? I don't know. I just happened to get on the show and the titty was out because But so you gotta be, have somebody who can understand. A titty or two might pop out because you might be a rock star. Shit happens.
That's
You can't. It's unpredictable. This you never know. Nothing is scripted, so you never know. But I say that. Wow, that is. Yeah, no, that's. Thank you, Raw.
not
Um,
real.
I don't even know what it is.
No, 'cause my
Oh,
wife.
Miss DC. I get it.
Yeah.
I read it as MSDC. I'm like, is that a rapper or some shit?
It is now.
I
My
get
wife,
it now.
my wife
A
is
little slow.
she's pretty much kind of like a rapper, but no, but Jay, you just got to be with somebody who understands, like whatever lane you in, whether an accountant, you're gonna fuck up some numbers one day, so you might come home after you done fucked up somebody's check. Now you got to come home with that just fucked up a check, babe. And she want to talk to you about what color is the blinds, so she got to, and then you just got to understand that some days she gonna have problems, you gonna have problems. There's problems, like I said, everybody's crazy. It's just how much crazy are you willing to deal with and put up with, and
And
at what level do you get off the ride?
that part.
That's an important part too. Yeah, I think I personally think that's the biggest part that's different for everybody. I feel like everybody has different levels of how much of this shit am I going to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you have to have that establishment. But there are people who are like, you fucking cooked my chicken wrong. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
what
I mean? Like, should you get married if you're that easily triggered? Like, I mean, it's a lot of time.
This ain't
This is
got
a
no
fucking
stop.
conversation right here. I'll tell you right. I'll talk about this shit all
Shut up,
day.
DC.
I'll tell you right now.
That's real. Well, a lot of times when I'm getting ready to do these and I run some of the questions past women, or they have questions that they want to ask, because we're definitely going to get into some
Shit.
topics. They're always interested in hearing a man's opinion, but it's almost like I think sometimes we want to hear y'all, but we really ain't gonna listen because it's not either delivered in a way that we like, or I think sometimes what women do is we forget that you're men and we're women. So I don't want my man to be like me in certain ways. I can do my best to understand him and where he's coming from on something, especially since we're both technically working in an entertainment space. And do our best to respect what that means for us as individuals and collectively. But also, I'm like, you're a man. So if we're like, case in point, I brought this up months ago. I'm like, when it comes to how we're going about future videos, I'm like, hey, to keep this so you're not in any trouble, and we're also in a Me Too movement, I'll pick the girls. I don't mind being creative director because I like people like Tiana Taylor and how she makes women look, how she makes herself look, how she makes whoever she's working with look. Because at the end of the day, if you're dealing with somebody who is like G Black Oso understands, and like you grew up in the music game, it's important to me too that my man looks like that guy. And there's certain things that comes with that, but also respecting the fact that I'm me, I have my boundaries and what I'm with too, and just talking about that stuff. But I have to understand he's still a man at the end of the day. I'm a woman. I don't need those to be so mixed up and us being so the same and how we think and everything else, to where that's just weird to me. So I find that when I ran some of these questions past the women, I'm like, I don't think some of these answers you're really going to want to hear from some men, but I don't mind asking.
Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's go.
One of the questions, and I know.
Come on, let's get these questions out here.
So, all right, so boom.
Ask DC.
DC gonna tell it all. So, you're married for a certain amount of years, and your wife comes to you and she's like, I want this to be open now. A couple of times a year, you can sleep with who you want. I want to do the same.
Fuck your shit.
Are you open to something like that? And if you are not, are you more open to it if you get to be the one sleeping with some other people, if she's okay with that hall pass and she does not entertain that?
Hey, I'll raise my hand.
That never works for men, because I'm gonna tell you why.
I'll raise my hand on that shit.
Women fuck who they want, men fuck who they can. When people do that thing, it'd be like women get these Adonis like Chad Johnson, these dudes that got 401ks and shit that's way better than
Not
you.
401ks that are shut up.
They got insurance and shit while you over here praying that you don't get sick. And then when you go do it, it'd be like Sally from the 5th floor who got bunions and her shoes sit up like this. So that shit don't never work out for men. So that should just be, it'd be one-sided. Like she beat Raheem, this nigga dreaded and with abs and
Why do you
shit.
have to be named Raheem though?
because that's what most niggas who we be out there. That nigga,
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Raheem sound like he busted
yeah,
down.
that nigga he got a good tailor suit. This shit fit right. You know what I'm saying? And then you got motherfucking Ruth who can't even bake a fucking cake to save her goddamn life. And you know she talking to you and all her teeth is like this. It look like her shit just death row signed her shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit just it don't fit. But
So
I mean,
would
you know,
you work out better if you had better options than what you just named?
I mean, shit, this should be it'd be cool then. But then if not, you know, Sally on the 5th floor, barely pay her rent. It's shit all over the place. You go over there, she talking about talk to you dirty. It's just like, oh man, I stepped in something. I gotta go. All right. Yeah, I know.
Sounds
You only
like
know what you stepped in. So now you down at the bottom, in the bottom level, looking at the bottom of your Jordans, and it's something that you've never seen before in your life, and it don't even look human, like it should have been in our house before. You know, I digress. Y'all go ahead. I declare that I'm dealing with some issues over here. Go ahead, John. Brian, you had your hand up. Sorry, I just.
No, you good. I appreciate your perspective there, brother. But yo, listen, if my girl ever came to me and said, "Hey, let's be open," and immediately this shit I was talking about committing and everything before, I would snatch that fucking ring off her finger and I call the lawyer in that same conversation because yo, if I ever put that's the fucking problem, yo. In my opinion, that's the problem, yo. I always gotta verify myself by saying the my opinion shit because I don't want to be, oh, this other people are different. Yeah. I get it, but what is marriage, yo? Marriage is supposed to be, yo, this is us. We together. The fuck are we supposed to be doing? Now, not in nobody's case. People get divorced, man. For all the reasons that we said earlier. People change. People go through different shit, man. People try different things. People work different ways, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of shit can happen in a year. You know, let alone 5, let alone 10. A lot of shit can happen.
That nigga 7 years. Anyway, I'm sorry.
The one fucking thing that I can honestly say is, man, I feel like commitment is supposed to be with the people that you are in a commitment with. And if you want to have some talk about, oh, there's somebody else that we need to enter in my thing because something's missing, I need something, I miss something, I want something, then you need to go find that shit without me, bro. Because now you basically, how I look at it is, you want to now have your cake and eat it too. You like me. Yeah, we've been fucking for 20 years. We fuck like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all that shit. We dress up, Barney, and we do all the crazy reckless shit. Everything. Fuck it. I had this wall right here. I had some shit like that in my old apartment. We used to fuck by it, and she used to talk about, oh, I'll dress like Batgirl and do. We used to do wild shit, trying to keep it up.
Clearly, my nigga is Barney. You know what?
Bro, listen,
No kink shame. No kink shame.
That's what I just thought about it. You know, safe space, safe place.
Safe space.
Listen, please speak freely, bro. But listen.
Because the Barney is wild to me because that suit is big as fuck, yo. Like,
them furries doing that shit.
Don't take this personal, but who the fuck wore the costume is my question. I don't want to get all of your business, but who the fuck was Barney that night? Because that's a big ass tail and everything. You know what? Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry. You got to make the tail to get to the tail. Nigga, that's so
make it happen.
Anyway, the mouth is all. Oh, you know what? Go ahead. Sorry.
The biggest shit is I feel like if you starting to look elsewhere, it's time to be done. Like, you know, and I know I am one of them type of people that's like, yo, listen, I like as something break, throw that shit in the trash. Oh, I cooked that food too long and I left it on the stove. I forgot it overnight. Throw the whole fucking pot away. Like I'm one of them type of people. So I know that's kind of a personality trait as well. But if you start, in my opinion, commitment is that word. I'm with you. Yeah, we fucking rest of our life. If you don't like this pussy, you getting tired of it, whatever, you better start beating that shit for the rest of your fucking life. If you don't want to, then you made a mistake, bro. And if you got to come to me with these silly ass conversations like, I'm thinking, hey, honey, I was just wondering if I can talk to Jasmine upstairs and get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, that's complete disrespect in my book, yo. So you're telling me this ring, this commitment that we made to each other, you now telling me you want to involve somebody else so you can have another dick slide up in you and I'm supposed to be, we can be open 3 times a month. In my opinion, if that was the case, just take the ring off and go live with that nigga Jerome or whatever the fuck his name was. Raheem.
Brian, tell me how you really feel. All right, you black, you
bruh. For real.
We gonna let Brian cool off.
I'm heat, bro.
I thought people say I had a flashback. He saw he was working through some shit right
Shit, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro.
He said, "Ain't nobody else
I put
wearing
myself in the
black and white."
scenarios. That's why, like, I'm living that. I never had it happen, but I'm living that shit. I'm like, yo, I can just imagine that shit. Like,
This nigga had a flashback that never happened. He was like, the motherfucker
real.
Definitely feeling
this
that.
shit.
I'm an actor on this motherfucker. I'm telling you.
Go ahead, Black.
Nah, I agree with everything Brian said. I mean, once you get to the point that the commitment to each other isn't there anymore, just based on the fact that you're trying to go outside of what was established as the boundaries to begin with, then it's a problem. I mean, now if this is something that for instance, swingers, if that's something that you committed to in terms of your relationship going in, I think that's something completely different. But just in terms of a monogamous relationship, I think when it gets to the point that you want to begin to, first of all, I think it's perfectly natural to have those thoughts and even desires. But I think that the commitment comes in when you're able to discipline yourself enough to disregard those. The whole idea that women don't want their man looking at a woman's ass or whatever, like that's kind of ridiculous to even
Yes.
think that. It's almost like a reaction sometimes. So I do get how it can be disrespectful in a particular setting or scenario. I do understand that, but just to say that you as a woman to not understand that, I mean, just as a person to not understand that your partner may have these desires or feelings is unnatural for you to even think. But again, to me, the difference comes into play when you either A, act on it, or B, address it in such a way that you're contemplating changing I don't even want to look at it like a contract, but like changing the terms and conditions of the contract type thing.
No, I think it's fair to say it in that way.
I'm
Because
down with you right
started
there.
off as a business deal. It was a business deal. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to talk about it like a contract. I honestly think it makes sense to treat it like a business and have your quarterly evaluations, look at things. What are we projected next year? I think just the logic side of it, that's smart to do. And of course leave space for all of the feelings and everything else. But I agree with what you just said as far as the contract, because I could throw people off when you're like, that's not what I signed. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
But they also wanted to know, let's say, hey, Jerome's at the job, I'm feeling away. Do you want her to say something to you? Now, doesn't mean she acted on anything, but do you guys want your women to be that real to say, look, I find somebody very attractive at the job. I'm not doing anything, but I might even switch departments because I don't even want to get caught out.
I was actually just gonna ask you that too. I was gonna say, how would you feel if she actually told you that shit? Like in my book, I feel like, if somebody came to me and asked me straight up, like, hey babe, I know it's gonna be kind of crazy, but you think we can maybe have like an open, commitment for the next 2 weeks? I just really like this guy at work, and I really want to fuck him. Like, you come to me and say that, and I'm standing here once again. See, I'm an actor and shit. Like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself in my head, like, this girl is in my face asking me if she can fucking do something with somebody else, or this guy is in my face asking me if he can sleep with somebody. The brazenness of the question alone is enough to make changes happen immediately.
Great question.
in my
Let
opinion.
me interject and challenge you with this. So let's just say it's still the similar scenario, but it's not brought to you in that way. Because I think it's easy to talk about a topic like this and think high level disrespect. Somebody's coming at you like, yo, I'm trying to fuck Donnie right now. It is always that kind of thing. It could be we're in a rough spot. Maybe I have postpartum because we had another kid and you're not as in tune. And I've been trying to reach to you, but you're not. But there's a guy at the job and he opens my door. He pulls out my chair. For a lot of women, it'd be the little stuff, and then the next thing you know, we get a little crush. We feel away, and I know y'all know this. This is why other men don't be trusting other men like that, because y'all know the game. Y'all know how slick some are. So it could even be those little seeds that are planted, and sometimes before you know it, it's like, whoa, I kind of have like a work crush. And I'm saying those for those listening, work crush stuff, because a lot of people spend more time with coworkers and around them than they do their own family, those that aren't working at home. It's just the reality of it. So then if she comes to you like, Brian, this is how I'm feeling. I have been talking to you about this, but I'm kind of now feeling this way at the job. I'm not going to act on it, but I wanted to tell you this. And how can we, forward for it? I kind of feel like that's a little different.
I would say, what's the point of you telling me? I would say, why are you bringing this to me? Honestly, like, even for you, if you came to me or your man, your husband, and you went to your man right now, honestly, rapper, I'm pretty sure you're probably a good dude, you know what I'm saying? If you went to your husband right now and said, babe, listen, in the nicest way, the most respectful way possible, listen, I know it's gonna sound fucking crazy to you, baby. I know it's gonna sound crazy to you, yo. But there's been this dude at my job, and I mean, he's always so nice to me. Like sometimes I don't have money for lunch, he fucking pays for me. I mean, like
I don't have money for lunch, wouldn't happen. But I get what you're saying.
Whatever, you feel me? Yeah, whatever the scenario you want to paint it. But he just really does everything for me. Like everything is so great that he does. Like I'm really thinking about. I'm having some thoughts, and I don't really think they're good thoughts. I just wanted to bring it to your attention because I kind of feel like I'm fucked up because I'm saying this stuff and I'm thinking this stuff. What do you think? And then you got to sit there as a man. Now I'm speaking as a man because I'm a fucking man. I got to look at my wife and my woman in the face and say, okay, so you're telling me that you're attracted to somebody. It's kind of difficult, man. I understand. I can be understanding to you being attracted to somebody. So now we're on a kind of level where we can have a conversation. But if you're introducing an idea of, because of that, I would like to explore options to where I can act on what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's different.
Now it's a different situation.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
Yeah, we opened the question was if somebody wanted to be open. That's why I'm saying like this was conversation.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about, and segue that into another question they had where it was all right, leaving the open stuff alone. Can I realistically tell you that? Because something I've even told my fiance before, the type of honesty and transparency I've wanted with a man comes from seeing my daddy lie and be caught in the streets of Japan, all the time by my mama and stuff like that. And then dealing with the stuff I was dealing with an ex-boyfriend, with ex-husband. So I desire this high level of honesty, even if it feels like I'm hit by a bus by what you said. I need to know, because finding out stuff on the back end for me, it makes me feel like I don't have a choice in this. So I'd rather hear something up front, no matter how harsh it sounds, but I'm also a person that I give brutal honesty. I've worked on that over the years because everybody can't handle that. You got to use discernment when to use it. But I try to be as honest in real time as possible of this is what I'm feeling and thinking, and knowing when it's necessary to say. And for a lot of people, infidelity is the reason why relationships are messed up, marriages fall apart. It's a real thing. It's that and money. So it's like we need to be transparent about this money. We need to be transparent about where we're at when it comes to like our sexcapades and anything like that. So I'm not, whether it's me going to him or him going to me, I'm not going to punish you for your honesty. I appreciate that. But to piggyback off what you said earlier, Brian, that doesn't mean Keisha and them can all come over. And for a lot of women, it's one of those things, even if we decided, hey, let us be the person to bring the woman in. Don't you just bring somebody in. It's like, I had this wild idea. I bet you did. You all did since you've been 8. Like, it's...
Man. I mean, yeah. But at the same, I'm not trying to take over or nothing. I'm just trying to say, like, you talking off what shit I'm saying. Like, but how many times is you going to be able? Me and my girl is very open. Like, we go to the things, we watch wrestling and shit, and she's like, oh, Bailey's my chick, that's my baby. Off. Anybody watch wrestling? That's my baby. I love Bailey. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. But she got the Usos. Oh, the Usos, damn, they fine as shit. Look at them. Or even when we're out and I see a girl and I'm not disrespectful. Like, I got my baby with me. That's my woman. Like, I'm not gonna disrespect. But if shit, man, look at that shit right there. Like, I'm gonna look. You know what I'm saying? And she knows I'm looking. Even this times where I'm like, babe, you see that girl big ass titties right there? Oh yeah, she do got some big ass titties.
We see them before y'all see them. Most of the time.
Exactly. Yup. That's what she say too.
We see them before y'all see them because we be at cons and I'm like, Pikachu was thick than them up.
I'm telling you, right? That's the respect I fuck with.
You laughing, G-Back, but that's a real thing that happened at J1 Con, babe. You remember that thick ass white? First of all, she was a white girl. That's what threw us off. And I was like, the thighs match. I was bugging. I'm hitting his arm like, because I couldn't believe it. But again, he's created a space for me where I don't feel like you about to run off with any chick that got a fat ass or nice titties or whatever. It's like in your own space, whether it's a real life chick or whether when he knows I'm drooling over Megan Good, Megan Thee Stallion, or Megan Fox, because I have a holy trinity of Megan. He knows it's one of those things where I can like be like, oh my God, look at Meg and look at this and that. But you created that space. I think
exactly.
When something mess up, you don't create that space. So she feels triggered. Like every time you look at somebody or like a certain picture or content or judging you off your porn category, because I will judge if it ain't Ebony.
Ooh, shit.
I'll judge you off of that.
Judging me.
You have
freak, nigga. Midgets, all that shit. I don't give a fuck. I tell myself.
Small people, bro. Small people.
Small people. Little people.
Small people in a Barbie suit, baby.
So I tell you, yo.
But I think a lot of women do want that type of transparency and honesty from their man. But I think to have that and to keep that up, you have to be open to how he's going to come to you in the ways that you guys have with a lot of these questions that they're wondering. But also it helps when a man can create that environment where I am not consistently feeling super triggered and jealous and all the kind of like the petty things that can arise, because those are normal feelings. But I don't think it's normal to every single time your man do something, oh, so you want to fuck her, so you did that and this that.
That's
That
ridiculous.
that's exhausting, but it happens a lot. I mean, I know y'all know it happens a lot. It's barbershop talk, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
and some men are kind of like bogged down by it. And like DC was saying earlier, don't want to go back home because there's a shrew there waiting to attack you. So I appreciate the honest answers on that because they definitely had a lot of sex questions. The last one that I'll ask, and I don't want to, just because of DC.
What the wait?
Because we know each other. So
Oh,
it's like,
okay, I was about to say, like, what the fuck? Like,
no, it's just like the brother sister thing. I know your wife, and so it's just funny. But they want to know to y'all what is an appropriate amount of thrust pump action time when you when you're having your sexual because some
like we were clear we was talking about earlier. Like, you gotta, what the fuck? Like,
no, because
Wait,
in the
what
group,
is the
in the group that I'm in, the women were complaining that men will swear they finna go all night long and blah blah blah, but they're not interested
lying.
in
Yeah.
pumping for 45 minutes. But I was like, well, I guess that goes back to the guy and what he thinks is an appropriate amount of time for sex. So what's that time frame look like for y'all?
I mean, I don't know if you put a time on it. I mean, but if a motherfucker is counting pumps, you thinking about
Yeah, counting
Fuck is going
counting
on?
pumps is wild.
if you
That's some
pump,
crazy
if
shit.
you got a counter in your hand and you counting pumps,
Even just thinking about it, like, what the fuck is
it
wrong?
just
Like,
I didn't
feels
fuck to a
like,
beat before, but I'm
man,
not counting.
wow.
Not
Like,
to the beat, G Black. He said, all right, I know this track. I
I
know
mean,
but
gotta
is
see
he
if it
count,
works.
but wait, is he counting down or counting up? Because like that's the real.
counting
I
That's-
hope
down.
not
that's
counting
everybody
down. Counting down is
You
crazy.
like, I got
counting down is nuts.
I'm at 5 strokes left.
Counting
Yeah.
down is a little nuts. I'm gonna be right back. Counting down is nuts.
Yeah, like counting period. Like I just
Counting
I don't
period.
know. I
For
don't
real.
know. There's a real answer to that question, and that's weird that you even like
Oh no,
women.
the questions that women have around sex, because understanding we don't have penises, our bodies are completely different in what we need and want. But on top of people that are, oh no, I have it. Thank you for being accommodating, baby. On top
Hey,
of,
hey, I told him she let you float down the river, man. We gonna get her. Don't worry about it.
don't laugh at that.
That big ass ring you bought, brother. She better not let you go like old boy on Titanic.
He's committed. No, that he's great. He can have whatever he wants. He's cool. But no, the way that we think about sex, especially when I'm in these groups and a sex topic comes up, is drastically different than what men do. So when they are talking about like, oh, how long or how many strokes or whatever, I'm like, maybe we are thinking and counting and that far in our head at times, but I'm like, I don't think they think like that, but I sure can ask.
Are we talking like duration of like a round or like the whole thing?
So that got to a topic too, because they were talking about how long foreplay and what that constitute should be. Because for some, they're like, foreplay is starting from the morning when you tell me good morning through text or whatever, kiss me before you leave the house or whatever. Others were like, hey, as soon as his face hit the clit, that's my foreplay time and going forward. And then as far as full penetration, that time frame, that
Arm thrust was crazy.
Yeah, that's really wild. That was. I think we have to blur that out for the kids.
No, you just freeze frame it. Just
They're gonna be like, "Why is her arm going like that?"
what is going
That's
on?
right.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
But for some women, I think it's easier to say, oh, he should at least be able to last 25 to 40 minutes. But I'm also like to challenge that since we are built different than y'all. It's like, hey, if you're not in shape, if everybody's bent a little different, if you're not 21 anymore, can you do something for me? We not, it's different. So I was like, I'll pick their brains as respectfully as I can about how they go about their sexcapades. But I'm like, it's a really odd topic from that angle, from how some of them were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like generalized questions, instead of like, a topical thing. Like just from hearing it, like, how long can men last? Like you've been hearing shit like that for a long time. Like you can't last.
Mhm.
Oh, I can. Even the jokes in the sitcoms was, I went about 3 or 4 seconds. Yeah, okay. But yeah, counting pumps, that's craziness. I feel like it's always different. Like, it's always different. It's about how into it you are, how much build up there is. It's been different with different people. I personally, I would say I was one of them people that when I was a little younger, I ain't old or nothing, but I'm definitely bigger. I'm out of shape now. I used to fight, do a whole bunch of shit. But I used to really be able to go. Maybe I'll say like, good about 10 minutes doing the foreplay, having fun, kissing, doing all this crazy shit, whatever, feeling, touching. I'm very touchy feely. And then, once it starts getting into it, you getting into it, then you got to stop and hold on and fucking, okay, and then keep going. And then, bam, you get that first one in. I was always one of them ones that I could stay going and be like, all right, let me get it out the way, make sure we ain't having no kids, and then continue and do that for a little bit. And after that, the second one is always a little bit longer, where you last a little longer and shit like that. So I was always good with that. Now, shit. 15 minutes and we both good. And and that's in everything, you know what I'm saying? And unless we just really into it. And we fuck with toys, we do all of that shit. We don't just do the regular stuff. Like we try to do different shit. We don't do the whole experiment and really. I watch porn. We just do different shit to make it interesting for each other. Like that's pretty much it. We don't count strokes and shit. It's just whoever's getting off. If I get off first and I'm like, oh, baby, I'm tired, then I'm going to go to work on. Let me go grab that shit out the drawer. Like, let's go see what's happening. That's how we fuck around. And that's how I fuck around with a lot of chicks that I've been with or whatever.
Who's next?
Oh boy. I'm a Virgo.
Now
Very
fine shit, child.
We're naturally very sexual beings. That being said, I mean, I never really timed it. I guess foreplay, I say if I'm trying to like put a clock on it, maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Like Brian was saying, the round one and round different rounds. So I say round one is maybe like 20, 25 minutes. Round two, gonna go a good like 40 minutes. And depending on if I had my energy drink for the day, we're gonna go ahead and go for round three again. That's just the Virgo in me, but who knows? That's some might fall asleep and wake up back in it, and that type of thing. But I don't know. I've always just been somebody who again, I never really like timed it or nothing like that, but I just really enjoyed having sex just as a recreational activity. Maybe again, it's just the Virgo in me, but yeah, I never counted no strokes or nothing like that. Though. That's a little wild.
The countdown is still cracking me.
Yeah, the countdown is crazy because the countdown means you got a good idea of where you started from.
I think like that because you got to think. There are motherfuckers who count up and there's motherfuckers who count down. Which way is the pendulum swinging?
If I'm a count, I'd rather count up.
Count down is a sniper.
He's like, this motherfucker is stroking and he's really counting down like that's one.
Did you just say you had 6 strokes left? Like, no.
Yeah, like he whispered, like, baby, 6 more strokes out there. I'm like, what the?
If I'm her, I'm thinking like, is this nigga about to blow up? Like, what is he counting down to?
I can't even do that.
Have y'all ever seen those porns where they count? And they'll do this shit where they'll sit there and be like, yo, I'm going to count to fucking 50 or whatever. And then they fuck and they go 1, 2. And then I don't think they're counting strokes, but they're just counting.
That's like
50, you going to burst. Like you going to nut and shit. And then they'll fucking do it. And the girl's like, 49, 50. And the motherfuckers have an explosion and shit.
What pages you on that you finding this shit, brother?
It's actually like it sounds like a Sesame Street version of it, like the count.
1, three,
Yo, different shit be working, man. You coming to different shit, squirting and shit, and
can you
count down.
1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3, yes, 3 stroke.
That's the number for the day. All right, DC, you're up, I guess.
Oh, I'm old as fuck, so I don't count. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Oh no.
You said that like you was like in your 60s or something. I'm pretty sure there's some gray
My
hair
body
daddy
is
shit
down, yo.
out.
Yeah, good for him. Viagra works for everybody, I guess.
They
No,
got little teas and stuff. That, you know.
Insert ad for Blue Chew.
yeah.
Mhm.
Big God show up on the screen. No, I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say here because like counting strokes, just, I don't know, that's just a wild concept to me. Like it's just sex is meant to be enjoyed. If you trying to make it, I don't know what they doing. It's just,
Come
Marathon.
on, wife in the group chat.
that's why I was trying to watch what I say because my wife was watching, so I didn't want to be on. Because again,
Not that's her first comment though.
yeah, no,
Yeah. Let me laugh at this shit real quick.
yeah,
Yeah, she said definitely gonna crack up.
yeah,
He was
Baby.
telling all y'all trade secrets, girl.
yeah.
Mhm.
She also texted me, was like, "Yeah, go on and say something, nigga." I was like,
Oh.
but no, I really don't know what I'm supposed to say here because, like, again, are we supposed to be counting strokes? Like, that's just never been a. It's just a
No,
wild
some of
concept.
the comments and the questions I was reading, I was like, this is really wild and further makes me believe in my point that there's just so much a lot of women don't understand about men that is very simple. And it's overthinking and overcomplicating it because of how we're naturally wired. And that's not how y'all go. Y'all are like, look, I'm here, you here, what's up? And there was just a lot of crazy questions.
No judgment at all, but I would really like to know who asked that question because her sex life got to be trash if she don't even measure it in time. She measures in strokes.
I will say I don't know the girl personally.
Hands of an hourglass.
I don't know the girl personally because again, some of these groups, it's like, oh, only these type of girls, and we don't, say who did what. But I will say because I was being nosy, reading some other stuff on something she posted. She's also somebody that thinks giving head is gross, and I was like,
Yeah.
I thought about you is correct.
Smith from the fucking contest. Yeah, I think people also ask. I feel like people also ask silly shit just to ask silly shit too, though. Because like I said, that's always been something. I'm pretty sure everybody can agree. Like that's always been something that people said. Oh man, it's always been like the joke. How long do you last and shit? Like there's people who fucking bust before you even start fucking and shit. Like
yeah, or
I
even
mean,
since we've been talking about music, a lot of times the bravado in rap and R&B songs, like, yeah, I'm 6 rounds and all the rest of the stuff, and it's like probably not.
Yeah,
but
very
that's
true.
also okay. It's but the way the media needs to go, and I'm going to segue this to advice you would give teenagers. But my biggest thing, and this can be on any topic, but my biggest thing when I'm talking to my own teenage son before I got with new daddy, and when I would be like helping in children's church and different things, I talk to kids how the music they listen to and the media they watch talks to them. But I also consider the fact when it comes down to sex, when you are visually and physically stimulated by what you're watching, a lot of times you're seeing the same kind of lies over again where each of them are coming at the same time all the time. And the girls just automatically went with little to no effort because of how things are cut from movies and videos and what have you. Also, unless you're watching porn that is directed by women, porn directed by men, a lot different than what's out there for women. So I'm like, if you learn everything that you want to about sex from those type of things, by the time you get a real in front of you, it's going to be a hot ass mess. So I'm like, I immediately, when I'm talking sex and relationships, I'm like, dump all of that shit out of your head from whatever's on social media, whatever you've been getting off to, because it's completely different when you're with somebody. So if you were going to give advice to the teenagers, what are they, Gen Z now? Is that where we're at for those kids nowadays? I think.
Who knows?
I don't
I think
know.
we started back over. It's at A again.
Who keeps up with
Listen,
that?
I have no clue, but for those kids,
You know what I am, let alone what these little niggas is nowadays.
I'll tell you, I don't need.
I
I'm a
think you would be
'90s kid, '80s baby. That's what
Yeah,
I go by.
I think you would be X if I'm right about your birthday, TC.
67.
Shut the fuck up.
67.
I hate you so fucking much.
You a good dude. If you 60, if you was 67 and you doing a podcast, you doing good, brother.
Yeah, less stress.
Motherfuckers don't know how to tie their shoes and
Pumps.
shit.
Be stress free.
Oh
Motherfuckers
God,
don't know how
that's
to
counting
order
down.
their medication on the computer anymore.
No, that's why a lot of the motherfuckers who look old when they 42, them niggas was counting they strokes down.
I'm telling
Oh, yeah.
you, when you look at
Motherfuckers.
different in your
Them
40s,
niggas like, hey,
Carpal
you
tunnel.
see some of them niggas in Akron
They
who
count
like,
a different number of strokes.
yeah, they was counting.
no,
Whole
don't say
different kind of
that.
strokes.
Different strokes.
Listen, everybody canceled. Cancel way back, child. But if you were going to give
Different
advice to the teenagers nowadays, whether it be about relationships, money, anything, what do you feel like they need to know?
Don't watch that shit. Ain't fucking real. Stop watching these fake ass movies and shit like that or whatever. Yo, we had the same conversation on my show not too long ago, yo, about how watching porn will fuck you up and have you thinking that you got a bionic man to please and satisfy a woman and shit like that or whatever. Like even with the context, like you were saying, with the music and the TV and movies and shit like that or whatever. Oh, the man don't know what a clit is and all that shit. Man, nobody fucking does until you get there. We don't have one. Why would we know? And it's not like as soon as you get into the situation, like the girl's like, okay, well, this is here and then this is there. No, they're just looking at you to figure this shit out. So you start figuring this shit out and then they still not satisfied. They're like, oh, well, now you're not doing it right. So you go through a process. They gonna have to go through the process. I mean, I'm not planning on teaching my son how to fuck girls. Like I'm gonna teach him the birds and the bees, but I'm not planning on teaching him like that direct because I'm like, I will tell him like, yo, listen, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that'll happen, but be comfortable, man. Make sure it's somebody that you like and then make sure it's somebody you trust and be safe. We tell him now, you know what I'm saying? 13 years old, he found his fucking phone, trying to touch girls and titties and shit already. And so we've had the conversation, but I'm not gonna play it like, oh well, you need to spread her legs like this and open it like this.
I don't think any
Fuck
parent
out of here.
would
Like,
do that. I don't
hopefully, no, you just shit. You'll be surprised. I mean, like, it's
Hey, Boosie
people
did.
out there. I'm
Yeah.
saying, yeah, people do it. That's why we got to talk to our kids.
that. Oh my God, I forgot all about that. You
Fuckers
right?
is going in, bro.
Damn.
Or thinking porn and movies is real life. And that's where you'll feel incompetent. You'll feel, like you're not good enough, and that's a hurting your
because you'll
fucking
notice right away
character.
your dick's not 15 inches long and a whole bunch of other stuff that you're used to looking at. And I'm like, oh God,
For real,
cannot imagine.
on some real shit. Yeah.
I think for me, two things. I would give him a piece of advice, same piece of advice that my mom gave me, which was put it in her mouth. Her mouth can't get pregnant.
I'm actually kind of almost not mad at that.
No, I'm joking. No,
For the
my mom
ass.
actually did tell me that though, and it
That's some
Hey.
simple logic.
these days that might be bad advice. Well, that's a whole different thing. But a whole different thing. Never mind. But
That's
no,
crazy. That's
That was
crazy.
good.
no, I think the real piece of advice, though, honestly, would be to just recognize that that all women aren't the same. That was something that for me was difficult to understand in terms of you might, as men, we develop our little tricks of the trade or whatnot, and you might think that you got it. You with a girl for a long period of time or whatever, and then you move onto a different situation, and the same moves don't work. It may cause you to feel incompetent or feel like you don't know what you're doing. But the thing about it is just we have to know our partners and not feel inadequate with having to relearn, how to please this particular partner. Like Brian was saying, actually, that might be a good idea. It sounds stupid or whatever, but it might be a good idea for the man and the woman when they first have sex with each other to sit down and shit. Give me a tour of your anatomy. Tell me, what you like actually, as opposed to like, being on the phone trying to, what's your favorite position? No, actually, while we're doing this, like, what do you like? Help me, guide me, so we can make this act, be the best situation for both of us.
I love that answer so much, especially
Really?
with what Brian was saying. Even though you were giving some exaggerated examples, something that stuck out to me is what you said about the woman's not going to be like, so this is this and that is that. Because I was a super late bloomer and my ex-husband was my first everything. So I lost my virginity at like 19, 20. And I wasn't like, well, I know exactly what it takes to get me there. Get me where? What is an orgasm even? Like, what does that mean? Because also between the household and just society, if we're too sexual, know too much, we're hoes. And if we don't, then we don't know anything about ourselves by the time we present ourselves to somebody we feel safe with. And then you're not comfortable enough to be like, well, I don't like that. You just automatically think, well, I guess this is just supposed to make me feel a way. There's just so much that I've heard young girls just miss the mark on because they don't feel comfortable enough to have that conversation. But if we're looking at a man to lead, and especially lead in the bedroom, I think that is a great example, G Black, of just being like, hey, let's have this conversation instead of all the bullshit we can be sexting and talking that shit over the phone. Let's cut all that out and be like, look, we don't know each other's bodies like that. Even if we got to know each other mentally, we don't know each other's bodies like that. So let's just try stuff, not judge each other, and see what we can do to get there. Because I think even at all of our big ages, because I don't think anybody's in their 20s, are they? Nobody? Okay. So with nobody being in their 20s before, and with us all have being more than one person before, I think some of the best sex you have is with someone that you can be that real with. That way, if somebody's leg has a cramp or somebody makes a face where you like, damn, you good? It was good, huh? Like you can clown a little bit with that, and I think that makes for even better intimate moments. So I really like that as an example.
Yeah, I think that comes with maturity as well, though. That's the problem. Like you usually don't learn to be that honest until you start to mature, and maybe even if you maybe if you don't have even that many experiences, like let's say somebody doesn't lose their virginity until they 30, but you have enough maturity, developing in life to kind of maybe have that. Hey, listen, even if it's just like like I don't care anymore. Like hey, listen, we don't got time. Let's just see what do you like. Let me see if I can do it, and then you just practice and shit. And every time's a learning experience, and you just get amazing. You know what I mean? Like we probably would be if we were just more developed instead of being silly and shit. We'd probably be amazing like sexual partners. But I don't know. Maybe that's part of the fucking flaws that we're supposed to have. So we don't got a billion kids. Who knows? Everything's a structure, right?
I mean, Big Cannon obviously has got something else going on.
Yeah.
Guy.
Wait, what was the question? Because they had some great ass answers, and I don't want to be the one to fuck it up.
They really well.
I gotta follow that shit now.
Right, you can never go after them, especially when G Black.
I have to go first because these niggas be profound and shit, and I'll be just like trying to answer the question.
They decided to, because I said it could be about anything as far as giving advice to the teenagers now.
Oh, don't follow these alpha male dudes and shit. Stop listening to these niggas. I just seen what's the dude, Fresh and Fit, one of them motherfuckers, the Hadabi looking dude.
I know who you're talking about. You stupid for that.
Which one is that? The one that used to be not Hadabi, Fresh, FBI. Sorry, I'm getting my acronyms mixed up. What's the light skinned dude? So he did an interview and it was like, have you ever, most men like giving head or something like that? And he was like, no. And the woman was like, have you ever done it? He was like, yes, back in the past. It's like, oh, so you stop? He's like, yeah. And she's like, why? This nigga said, because vaginas are disgusting. Let me ask you a question. You're supposed to be an alpha man and you like women, but vaginas are disgusting. What the fuck are you doing?
He might be being real. I'm not gonna lie to you, DC. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that vaginas are disgusting in a whole. I know you don't want to.
That is a 12-year-old answer. Grow the fuck up.
Kind of, bro. Listen, all right, but listen.
I'm not saying all of them are pretty, but grow the fuck up. He was a generalized 12-year-old answer. Oh my god, vaginas, ew.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught a bad one? You ever caught like a real bad one before?
Probably.
Like been in a situation where you fucked up. And you bro, shit. I definitely.
What are we talking about bad? I don't know because I'm
talking about where you went down and you smelled some shit or tasted shit that was
like. Down like
freeze.
Nah, like we talking in general though. Like let's not.
And then given the context of who he is and what I've seen, I understand where DC's coming from.
Because you talk about how all these women and this and that, and then you be like vaginas are disgusting. Like
look, raw. I'm saying like I've had a bad experience where I've smelled some shit. It was a pillow. The girl had a pillow between her fucking legs. And she was sitting there, she was laying on me, and I was holding the titties and stuff like that or whatever. And she took the pillow out, and I went to like kind of just hold it, and I smelled that shit, and I almost threw up, yo. And it smelled like blood and just stench. And in that part right there, I'm not gonna lie, like that shit kind of fucked me up. And I eat pussy, like but I'm a freak. I don't give a fuck like about a lot of stuff. But I can understand why somebody being relatable, like, hey, I'm not interested in doing it because it's just not. Some girls don't clean right. I got this shit when I was younger.
I can. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the minority of the.
Yeah, I would like to think that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah, right. I'm talking about the five. I'm just talking about in general. This nigga's a grown man who talking about all these women and all this and that, but vagina's disgusting. So to me, that just sounded like a question of a nigga who just ain't getting it like he say he getting it. That's how I took it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I was looking at it on the other side.
DC, even if he was, I think from what I've seen on their podcast, because if you ever watch if you ever started watching Kevin Samuels when he first started, and then everybody that came after he blew up, they're all kind of like variants of that.
You're right. Nah,
So
I did it.
seeing a lot of how they go down and what it evolves into,
I did it though.
I think that must say yes.
I nasty ass word though. I didn't though. But.
So it's like some people would still do it. Then it's like, well, who's really the gross one? But given what he's talking about, I think because he thinks he's such an alpha, the idea of giving a woman pleasure in that way, I think that is what's disgusting to him. Because it's not about
that's
him.
that's
That's what I think it really is for him.
And I'm like, grow the fuck up, like you. But no, it's just that shit in general. Like, stop. We need to stop idolizing people who think they're leaders and don't know how to lead. They're mainly just following a trend that's leading kids down. Like I seen, what's the other dude? It's another kid.
Andrew Tate.
No, he's another one. But it was Scruncho, Scroochies, it was another.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Sneeko.
Yeah.
Is a dude. Another one, white kids. He signing autographs. And he's like, kid's 11 years old. He's like, fuck these bitches. And he's like, yeah, that's right. Like, come on, man. Like, we need to stop following motherfuckers who don't know how to lead and don't know how to follow, who just don't, or just saying shit just for the fact. Like, I love being able to talk shit, but there's a difference between talking shit and just saying shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
that's a big part of context, bro. And that's even with this conversation we having right now. Like, I was interjecting in a way where it's like, yo, literally, I'm seeing a different side than even what you were seeing right there. Yeah. So it's like that's literally how context fucking matters, man. Because like you're saying, you don't want to just blindly follow. That goes with the whole watching porn. That goes with everything. Context matters, man. And we live in an open world, an open environment where you can pull up any bit of fucking information and get it from anywhere. And it could be wrong or right, but you have no kind of, ability to decipher this shit because there's nobody leading you to the fucking correct information. And that's why it's difficult, man. With sex, everything. So
I don't even mean the sex. I just mean in general. Like, it's too much people just saying shit just to be saying shit. Like, I've seen some podcasts, even some people I used to deal with. Like, I've seen some of their stuff now, and it's like, you now, like, where you started and where you at now, you've changed, and I can see you just saying shit just to be saying it. Like,
and
you
I
just
think they might see you working for somebody else, and then
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have too many people like that who are following this trend and not just being themselves. Like, to where it gets to the point to where it's like, damn, we got 55 red pill dudes and they out here saying the same shit, and vaginas are disgusting, and then I'm doing that, and then we leading kids. Like, it's just weird.
And it goes to what
I think we just live in like
you said what?
I think we live in like an algorithm culture, whereas like we used to live in like a ratings culture, and like now people see things that work on a particular algorithm, so they may even cater their content to that. Just because, kind of circling back to what we talked about at the beginning in terms of people doing things that they wouldn't necessarily do just because they see it working for somebody else, and unfortunately that's the time that we live in. And I don't necessarily know if it's something that we just have to grow through in terms of this may just be the era that we live in, or if it's something that we need to be hands-on with in terms of we need to steer the ship somewhere else, because this shit is kind of crazy now, because you do have people that again just say things just to be saying things and not necessarily realizing the actual impact it has in the real world, because they were just trying to get their YouTube ad revenue up. You know what I mean? So
you're preaching right now, yo.
Yeah, we definitely need to do something in regards to that, in my opinion, from my perspective. But I definitely do see what you're talking about, though, bro.
No, and I think those are all really, really good answers. And it made me think about so many. I won't say their names because there is one couple that is so famous for going back and forth. They definitely get their Ike and Tina on. And it's like there was a time where we wouldn't have celebrated that in that way. And I say celebrate as far as giving it attention. Giving attention, and they're like millionaires now because of streaming and views and everything, and it's really, really sad, high key disgusting. But like you said, it's like, how do we steer that? How do we take control of that? Do we even have the influence, especially at our age? Do we even have the influence to do that, or is it up to the people that are younger than us now to feel a way about it? Are you triggered by this? Are you so numb to it because it's just what you grew up seeing? So now
I don't think there's a possible way that they can't be numb to it, because like we're all in agreement of that's all that there is. Everybody, even us right now, bro. I've said this fucking shit a million times. Exactly what G Black was saying. even right now, even what we're doing, we have a platform that DC has made, and we getting on this bitch right now and talking about whatever we want to talk about. And even if it is what we feel is structured and has good context, and it's not saying that a pussy is nasty and it's described in fucking complete understanding, everything that we're doing right now is our freedom of speech and ability to connect with potential billions of people, millions watch this podcast right now and take every bit of context that we're saying literally in every single way.
You putting a little sauce on it. It might be 3 people that watch this motherfucker.
It might be, but is the potential for 3 million?
I appreciate the
Is the potential for 3 million though?
Yeah,
bro. There's potential though. Like I'm saying, like you were just saying, be real, right? So I'm being real. Like, so
No,
it might be 3 people, but somebody might catch this motherfucking shit and say, these guys right here are talking incredible. I love everything. And one person that needed to see that shit, that's the importance of this shit too. That needed to see that shit and take that shit and fucking go and put you on TV tomorrow because of this conversation. It's potential.
That's the key. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You, as an artist, you know it's the same thing. So with that knowledge, that's why it's so dangerous for everybody to have that capability in their fucking pocket. You don't need to go and shop. Most people have the shit to pick up a camera and speak freely directly to billions, to the masses. Motherfuckers had complete control of that when they were reading newspapers and flying fucking paper letters and airplanes and shit back in the day. But now we have the ability to speak completely connected, just like the internet, bro. This some shit right here. Listen, y'all with the Beeline shit. Yo, listen, I'm telling you, this is some shit we talk about right here. It's real, bro. Like this is the problem with the Generation Z and X and all that shit. It's a new fucking level. We integrated with technology, and it's putting us in different situations that we don't even understand because it's still building on us, yo.
And the people that do research on this, because I, like G Black was saying earlier, I go down these rabbit holes of research you wouldn't believe randomly. And they were saying we won't even see the true impact of all of this stuff, including what we went through with COVID, until about 20, 30 years down the line, what that's done to the mindset of all of us that have gone through it and the younger ones. And I'm like, God, that's kind of scary to not know the type of world. I mean, like, we don't know everything anyway, but I think there was a way that they could do some predictiveness back then in a way that is almost impossible now because of how things curve. And also, I ain't gonna hold you, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you go and what you believe, government control and stuff and HARP and this and that. Listen,
big shit.
Stuff out there.
Message.
That's another episode. I ain't gonna open that box because we 2 hours in. But I'm just saying, between all of that and then just what naturally could occur, I don't know. I'd just be happy to wake up every day.
I feel you, bro. I feel you, sister.
You never know. But before I know we wrap up, because this has been great. 2 hours definitely flew the fuck by. I've loved all of
it. 2 hours? Damn.
Yes,
like great, man.
For 2 hours.
Much love, yo. This has been great. Yeah, I've loved the conversation.
This has been really, really good. So before everybody plugs their things and stuff, just tell me one thing, like in less than 30 seconds, that you're looking forward to next year. And it can be big or small.
I am releasing my long-awaited 10th album, and that's something I'm really happy about. I have a few interim projects dropping between now and then, but that's the one I'm really excited about. It's been maybe 2 to 3 years in the making now, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and I'm gonna be doing directing all the visuals and stuff. So that's it means more to me just because as opposed to it just being a musical presentation, it'll kind of be me finally getting to present my vision in totality. So that's what I'm excited for this year.
Really dope. Next up, who's next?
Taking more trips, and also we doing another March to the Record Book. So if y'all wasn't there for the first one last January for Martin Luther King weekend, we did a whole weekend of nothing but live streaming from Saturday night to Monday night. It was 48 hours. 48 hours of continuous live streaming. It's about 20 different podcasts. About 30 to 40 people kept coming in and out. It lasted. It was fun. So we're doing it again this year. This year we're probably going to go from Saturday to Monday night again. Not sure. Still working out the details, but the March to the Record Book, I can't wait. It was fun. Got a lot of networking in, made a lot of connections, and hopefully we do it bigger this time because we might start Friday night till Monday night. But the people want it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember people was talking about that shit. You made noise with that one right there. CA Knuble, I remember I was talking to her about that. That was amazing, yo. But much success. Hey, first I just want to say once again, I'm the newcomer here. Like, thank you guys so much for having me on the platform. Like, I hit DC up and I was like, man, I've been watching you for a while and we ain't collab. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm definitely glad I had the chance. I want to definitely welcome you guys to, definitely be guests. I would love to have you on. G Black, especially you, man, because you want to come on an entertainment show, shout out your stuff, do a full interview, and let you show off, man. I would love it. So definitely hit me up if you're interested, brother. But yeah, man. I'm really looking forward to my new understanding of what I want from this business and what I want for this web show, because I don't call my shit a podcast. I try to keep away from podcasts. I'm trying to be different, honestly. That's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I'm looking for like my new enlightenment and what I'm going to bring to this year. I'm trying to be as consistent as possible, so I'm not taking any breaks. I'm literally just bulling through the year, full throttle, and I'm gonna have as many shows as I possibly can, content creation, and make this my job forever. No more going back to the regular workforce if I can. So yeah, definitely big goals in mind. But yeah, it's been awesome on the show today, y'all.
Oh, thank you everybody for answering all those fun questions. And also make sure, because I know it'll be posted because DC does an excellent job in tagging people. You follow everybody, you repost it. It costs $0.00. Like I repost some stuff sometimes, even if it's not my thing, but I respect somebody's hustle. I respect their consistency. I'm just that person to do that. So I respect it. I'm always gonna plug my shit. So Book Candy, follow me on IG. I am on the Book of Faces, but I typically like IG better because my link tree is there and you can find everything. I am throwing our 20th reunion for anybody from Okinawa, Japan that is looking for like the best reunion ever. I'm doing it Dallas Fort Worth next August. It's going to be fire. I am halfway to my goal of getting this venue money. It was my first time doing a GoFundMe, y'all, because I don't like asking for help. I'm working on it. But finally asked for some help and people are coming through. So that is a big deal. Adult prom, I'm going to run back again. A vampire ball, I'm going to run back again. I'm still doing the princess tea parties and everything else. Bitch, get married. Next year, too, there's going to be several things going on for that, which I'll post about. G Black, you're going to be able to come through. Oh, and you too, DC, I guess. To a couple.
Goddamn minute. Like, Jesus Christ.
I just had to mess with you. But no, we're going to make this a nice laid back thing. I don't believe in fully being a bridezilla. I just like to play it up. But there are so many ways that I've learned since being in event planning that you can make shit pop based off of who likes you. Do not underestimate the power of being liked. That gets me further than any type of degree, any type of, I've been in this field this long. People just fucking with me have me in positions that are really nice for me right now. So please be nice, be likable, respectful as much as possible, and it can really get you far. So, and also if y'all didn't say y'all IGs or TikToks or anything, like promote that too before we roll. That's right. Here you go.
Oh, well,
Oh damn, that's very smart.
I love it. He said I ain't saying shit. Love it.
Black, yeah. I wish I was prepared, man.
Thank you.
Right back in school. I don't got shit.
No, you can turn around and start writing it down, Brian.
Listen, honestly, at this point, I'm happy to say that if you type in the Beeline on Google, it finally pops my ass up. I guess I've been doing this shit long enough. So yeah, if you type in the Beeline Entertainment, I'll definitely pop up there. But yeah, I'm on social media, pretty much everything. Please follow TikTok. I'm trying to build my TikTok. I want to go live. I'm doing every fucking thing. But Brian-B_B_B_line. And you can find me. And please subscribe to the Beeline Web Show on YouTube. We got a lot of shit, 3 shows. We do that Wrestle Talk as well. DC, you're more than welcome to come join. And any other wrestling. Hey, I see you got that championship belt right there, G Black.
Yeah, I mean,
let's go. Like, I'm definitely down with that Wrestle Talk, bro.
I don't think you've seen this.
I gotta get it, bro. I was just saying I need a fucking belt. I don't have no belt back.
I was just gonna say I feel mad left out because I don't have a belt, but I cosplay.
I love your background.
I cosplayed as Goldust.
I gotta challenge you, DC. I gotta unite the titles. What's up? Hardcore rules. Falls count anywhere.
Cage match.
I'm with it.
Hell in a cell.
Right there.
I earned this. Yeah, this was especially when I seen Bray Wyatt pass. This belt meant a lot to me because he was like, one of the ones that had it. Real quick, before we get out of here, one, I appreciate y'all. This was like the first time I've been live or done a live show in about 4 months. Feels good to knock off the rust a little bit. Still working on some things. What the shit is not going away. It may change. Some things might be different. Next week, we're doing Family Feud, baby. Can't wait for that. We got Blurred's Eye View versus a team I'm not gonna name yet because they told me to keep them a surprise because they coming to kick ass.
Oh, that's
So
gonna be so funny.
so next week is going to be amazing. Also, another thing that's near and dear to my heart, like King-ish, is Queen-ish, where we do the same thing, but we have a panel of women. So that is coming, I hope, in October. I'm working on putting that together and everything. So again, I appreciate y'all for coming out. Appreciate everybody who watched, everybody who comment. Please like, share, subscribe, follow these amazing people right here. What shit ain't dead. It just took a brief good kick in the ass, but I'm here now. Life is settled. Got a lot of dope people I'm ready to work with. A couple interviews coming. Formats changing, but yet and still, like I said, everything is going to be still what the shit. So gonna be everybody up here. Appreciate y'all, like I said. Everybody who watched, appreciate y'all. We're gonna get the fuck up out of here. I ain't got no crazy intros or exits or nothing like that, so I'm just in this motherfucker.